that no longer applies.
Dang.
Yeah.
All right, we're live.
All right. So last time on D&D, the Old Blood Squad took the fight directly to the thing that was hurting a demigod of the Feywild. Unprepared for the violence that would then ensue, with a small contingent of drow, Shadowblades, and the Counselor Nile Levros herself to go try and take out this threat, just go and cut the head off the snake right where it stands. You were unprepared for the conflict level, shall we say, and got your asses handed to you. Mm-hmm. In this process, 2 characters died. Kitchalorn died last as the person, humanoid identified as Death, they called themselves, took his life with a Finger of Death spell, and Melifia was slain, I believe, with her scythe, her sword that has blood coating off the edge and frozen to become a scythe. Mm-hmm. Because I am a huge edgelord. And at the same time, the demigod Nyx was destroyed. A surprise, to be sure, because you were assured by Titania that it was hard, if not impossible, to kill the Archfey. So, you managed to make it to safety, courtesy of Counselor Levros and her Word of Recall spell. All of the Drow warriors were killed, but the 2 Drow Shadowblades managed to survive with heavy damage. And you guys made it back to the ruins of Osanolin, the workshop in which Real and the rest of the Flickari managed to hole up and do their research for the last however long. Counselor Levros and the Shadowblades immediately dove into the laboratory and scavenged what they could, including several large notebooks and a couple of small, like kind of purplish prism-shaped crystals that they grabbed, and you could see the Shadowblades putting them in a bag. There's probably 4 or 5 of them. And they make you guys regroup, so Joe, Real, and Despero, and Tyir are all beat to shit. All of you have been down or dead at least once in the last. All of you were down except Real, I think, including Tyir. And you guys are all pretty beat. Now, without a guardian in the Feywild, you guys are less hopeful than you had been the day before, and the news that Nyx is dead is heavy on everybody present.
I think that without a guardian here in the Feywild, we might actually be profoundly endangered.
Yes.
So this is out of character, but for everybody who's still presently alive and in the party, do you think it would behoove us to leave, or try to leave the Feywild? It's not as easy as walking out the front door. Or do you want to try to see through our objectives here?
Since you weren't here, Jared, we talked with the other drow and said, okay, first things first, we're going to grab what we can grab here, what our mission was to be here, and we're going to try to make a break to the World Tree.
They had talked previously about getting back to the Arbor Exemplar kind of being the only known place of safety.
Okay.
It's all we got at this point to get out, at the very least.
Yeah, you're certainly on the right track, though, I think. The counselor, at Despero's suggestion, I'm going to make that in character, The counselor speaks up in her kind of broken, not quite perfect common, but clearly nonetheless. I think we have little hope of accomplishing our other objectives, given that we cannot safely travel the Feywild, and without Malefia's transport via plants, we're walking. I do not have a way to get us out. The only mage who might have a way to teleport us out is Kovrik, and he's back at the World Tree already. And that being said, even his command over distance and space has been damaged by this infernal place over the years. I think hopefully the research that we find here proves valuable in possibly restoring our home on the prime material plane, or at least getting us back safely. But I do not hold out hope for much.
We have recently failed utterly, and so I don't blame you for your hope being dashed, but it is one of the things that you should never let go of. How, and Despero completely changes like the track here. How is it that you managed to navigate this place successfully without the benefit of a guardian?
Well, mostly we didn't. We set up our boundaries while we still had a guardian here. For the brief time we had the help of one of the local Fey creatures. I'm not sure even of her race. But while here, we set our boundaries inside this city, and this city, Osanolin, was a ruin of elves to begin with. It was equipped during its heyday with sufficient runic magic and runic enchantments to actually bring it to the Feywild should the need arise. Physically bring the city here. So it is protected somewhat from the Feywild's magic, which is why we made our base of operations here. Nikki, I just cleared the owner. Try selecting it again. The choice was not a voluntary one, but one of necessity. Whenever we wandered too far, we got lost, as is the chaotic nature of the Feywild.
Then, if we are walking back to the World Tree, we are rolling the rice for luck, as they say. And he, of course, meant dice, but he missed.
She pauses for a second. Correct, yes. There is no guarantee we will make it back to the Arbor Exemplar at all. But we obviously cannot stay here. We have only gone unnoticed this far because, well, frankly, I teleported us here, and I'm surprised it worked. And she holds up a cracked crystal orb and that was a one-time deal. And she just chucks it and it clinks to the ground. That was an emergency that I had set up for myself. An emergency procedure, I mean.
I'll say Joe is still sitting against one of the ruined wall that she smashed last session with Tyre, and his head is in her lap as she's kind of letting her claws move across his head scales.
Yeah, he's already asleep. He is fucking bushed. He has 10 hit points.
I'd like to go and pick up the orb. I can't restore the magic in it, but I can mend it.
It splintered when she dropped it. It was already destroyed.
It will take many more casts of mending to fix that.
What about you, Real? What is your opinion on the matter here?
My allegiance is to the Drow, but also I would like to assist our new comrades in their mission, as they've been helpful in many things that we've had difficulty with in the past.
You're not wrong. I still think that the remaining Archfey is our best hope. I do not know what will happen to this realm with Nyx destroyed. She was a integral part of the Feywild. And Titania's hesitance to contact Didal or enlist or seek the aid of the Sun Prince. I don't know what's going to happen. In fact, we don't even know what's outside. The last time we looked at this place, it was being overtaken by the Fomorians.
Save for a windfall of unpredictable significance, I don't think that matter is in our hands anymore.
You may be correct. I think we can remain here until we've recovered some strength. I hope. We should be safe here. The wards in play are still in place, and it appears nothing has breached my little sanctum down here. So I suppose we rest, and as soon as we've rested, we take off for the Arbor Exemplar and whatever awaits us on the other end of that.
Yep, Despero goes about the process of setting out a bedroll and getting ready to knock the fuck out.
Yeah, it's pretty cramped in here, especially with a fucking wyvern in the room. But you guys are able to make it comfortable. The shadow blades kind of perch up in opposite sides of the room and begin their trance. One of them staying awake while the other takes a trance.
I will
And you
say,
guys can take.
I was gonna
Go
say,
ahead.
Joe lets Tyre sleep on her as much as possible. She just, as long as it makes room for everybody, she doesn't care.
Yeah,
She's used to having.
yeah, and
sleeping in
he's
dog
curled
piles.
up.
She's used to sleeping
Yeah.
in dog piles. Yeah. So how long of rest?
All right, so you guys can take a long rest. You guys can take a long rest.
Is this the end of the day? Or I guess we're camping here for night.
Yeah.
Alright. Despero, I need to blow off some steam. Would you like to come with me and assist?
Despero tilts his head for a moment, looking a little bit confused, but he does comply and walks along.
Alright.
What did you have in mind?
I like for us to have walked to I guess a secluded area, or at least farther off from the others.
You guys are in a series of underground structures, so you can move a room or two away.
Okay.
Hey Chase, how do you take a long rest in here again?
I'll do it once you guys are.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's manual on his side. Just take off your clothes. And I start undressing.
Despero doesn't hesitate, he just takes his shit off.
So Chase,
Yes.
the game is trying to make me equip 4 feats. I take it I'm not supposed to do.
Probably not. I'm not sure why.
Yeah,
4 feats would be
it's
4, 8,
saying,
12.
Yeah, select your
Oh,
level 4
sorry.
feet. Cool. Select your level 8 feet. That's awesome. Select your level 8 feet. Okay. Select your level 8 feet. Okay. all right.
Oh no.
Can you not?
Yeah,
Can you
I'm
not
trying-
skip
I'm-
that step?
I'm trying to see if it'll let me.
You shouldn't have to do all the steps. You can just save and open up the character sheet.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead, Real and Despero.
Yeah, I wasn't planning on illustrating the act, but like, in character, like, do you? Surely you, you must be at least versed in this kinds of matter.
And you see a supple drow body.
Mhm. And for Despero's part in the matter, he's never been very bulky to speak, but his body is very dense.
Yeah,
He's not very
muscle.
large in stature, but is dense and completely covered in tattoos and scars. Obviously, a warrior's physique through and through.
So
Not very
circumcised.
large. Yeah, I was gonna. We're gonna leave that one up to the theater of the mind. And for a matter of fact, he has such a small
He
clothes
gave us
on.
permission to think about it. He gave us. This is a red alert.
No. For the record, he does have a small clothes on. He's not dick out right now.
Okay.
Wanna do a perception check?
confess to being unaware of the matter in question.
Then, if you'll let me lead and follow through my actions.
Despero nods.
Okay, that's all I had planned.
Okay.
Hang on, that's not all I had planned. Additionally, since this is what we've considered to be the end of the night, also after the first round or whenever Despero gets tired, I cast Enhance Ability, Con Save, 3rd level upcast, so it's cast on both of us, and we keep going. And then that's everything I had planned.
Did we just fuck?
Yes.
That is, I assume what Real is going for.
Yes.
I more than assume.
Yes.
I thought we were gonna be.
You
I don't know
goddamn
what the
fell for
fuck I thought.
You fell for it.
Jared, did you just get bamboozled?
Yeah, I guess I just got that old razzle dazzle.
I just want to say that you quite literally just got clapped. So
Unfortunate.
And Real in a fairly Despero's just like, okay, yeah, sure, we're blowing off some steam, and Real Real does.
Reels keeps talking like a salesman and realizes that they don't know what he's talking about. He's trying to drop every hint he can, but they're just really not getting it. He's like,
You have
all
to.
right, I'm doing it now.
Real is female.
It's a salesperson. I don't.
Yeah.
the analogy follows.
I love how Real is just sitting there being like, "Can we fuck?" And Despero's like, "I'm too dumb to understand what fucking is."
See,
Literally
the
too
tragedy.
Dumb to die, Despero. Too dumb to fuck Despero.
Yeah, seriously. And the tragedy of this is, like, even while it's going on, he's got what it takes to participate in the motion of the ocean. Like, he's fine for that. He's good for it. His physicality still, it's
He wants
it's
everyone
functional.
to know
But
that he can, in fact, do that.
still, he's still got that, like, blank, vacant, not altogether there expression the whole time, which I think is a little bit tragic, and I hope Real's not offended.
I'm not offended. You were merely a tool to be used.
Oh,
You were
Jesus
fair enough.
Christ.
Oh,
You were.
yikes.
Despero does have something to say, though, as a matter of fact.
That's fine.
I assume after the fact, so as not to be utterly disrespectful.
Yeah.
Real, you do not seem as despondent as the others in light of our total failure.
Oh, I am frustrated, and this is more than I have signed up for, and this is how I wish to express my anger and displeasure.
We call it a hate fuck.
Despero, go ahead and roll an insight check for
Kind
me.
of.
Sure.
First roll of the night on a hate fuck,
Yup.
As intended, as God intended.
as God intended.
Hey, real quick, how do I equip the goddamn cloak?
It's a 9?
That's a 9. Cool. Yeah. I have marked it as equipped, but it didn't actually change your shit.
They
get
have to
something
have an
real fast.
attunement system, right? Like,
They really don't.
requires attunement. What the fuck?
So I've marked things that require attunement with an A. Can I just copy this?
Bruh. Can I change this number manually then? No. Oh, no.
What you can do is make. I'm going to screenshot it for you. Make this spell effect for yourself
Oh.
and apply it to yourself at the top of the day whenever you start.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
It gives us the tools to do it.
That's not. That's. That is the size and shape of a hammer while being made out of styrofoam.
That's fine. It still works. Okay. So the rest of you guys. Let's see. I suppose Joe, you're the only one left. You notice as Rio leaves the room, the counselor like looks at them, and kind of gives like a nod, like a okay, and then motions to one of the Shadow Blades. Just gives a nod to one of the Shadow Blades and looks at the door, and the Shadow Blade turns invisible, and you no longer see them.
She doesn't care. It's not her problem.
It's not her problem.
Let's move this over here.
Real and Despero, as somewhere through the long rest, I assume you guys come back.
One would certainly hope so.
Sure.
We do need that rest to get the HP back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Unless this is the
Real
long
doesn't
fabled
technic-
heal fuck that I've heard so much about.
I was gonna say Real doesn't need the HP, just the spell slots.
yeah. Despero went down several times in the last engagement.
No one can beat Joe though in terms of getting.
I'm
down
gonna
and
miss.
getting
I'm gonna
up.
miss a yo-yoing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. There's also a joke that I'm gonna pass on. No, you know what? I'm gonna say it. And Despero goes down at least once or twice more.
But
Sorry. Couldn't leave that one hanging. Sorry.
No.
I apologize deeply. Anyway,
No,
you guys go
don't.
back and
No, you don't.
I feel like I started this whole train of thought because
it is your fault. It is your fault. Yeah, I'm 100%
yeah.
with you
All
on that one.
according to Keikaku.
Yeah, cool. So you guys go back to the place, and you see Counselor Leveros like thumbing through one of the books, and she just looks up, kind of disinterestedly, as you guys walk in. Like, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours later, and she just goes, and then shortly you guys see walking in after you, maybe 10 minutes after you, one of the Shadow Blades just kind of walks back in the door, and goes back to their bedroll. And you guys continue your long rest. Anything else for the night?
Was that, I have to fucking ask, the Shadow Blade thing, was that like, alright, if he fucks around and tries some funky shit, we're gonna cut off his dick? Was that what that was?
You don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
There he is.
Out of character, no.
Cool.
They were just bodyguard.
Out of curiosity, how do I find my spells to add to Kind of All Sleep?
Go to the giant spell list on the right side of your page, and if it's not there, go to library, and it's not in there, is it anymore?
Retarded. I'm gonna spend my time working on this.
Do you guys not have on the right side of your screen just a whole bunch of like options?
Yeah, like there's a spells button. Or
Yeah,
I mean, I put a spells button there.
How do you put that button there?
Let me click through and find out.
Options?
Yeah. No, I think it's in library.
I mean, yeah, I find it in library, or you could find it probably in assets, I imagine.
It's because the menu has changed since I last looked for it.
Because I can't even find the library button. Oh, there it
The
is.
very bottom right.
Dang it.
Devin, I don't even see spells on yours, Devin. Yeah.
I have spells.
Interesting. No. On the right side of your screen.
Yeah.
How do you get to that?
I can't. I can't find the. So I'm looking for.
Interesting.
Is there a long rest button in this bitch?
There. Here, I'll do it.
Okay.
There you go.
Sorry,
Long
I'm
rest.
distract you from what you're doing.
So I want to load the Paladin pack, correct?
Probably. Yeah.
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 And also the basic. So also all the like SRD stuff. So you're gonna go library modules and load
Yeah,
SRD magic items, SRD data,
SRD bestiary. I've already loaded all of those.
Oh.
basic rules players. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of modules that you guys need to look through,
Yeah.
Huh.
and make sure you have. Go ahead, Christina.
Sorry, I was gonna say. I just realized. Next session's gonna be on my birthday.
Oh, hell
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yay.
We'll see.
You
how
turn
it
29?
Don't remind me.
That was a question.
Yes.
Please, it's a smaller number.
Yes. I'm
Okay.
turning 29.
Oh.
I am too. I turned 29 a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Wow, you guys are old. I can't hang out with you guys.
Who is the youngest one here? Nikki?
Nikki.
I'm 25. I think I am. Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Please don't make it sound like that. It's fine.
I know.
I don't think I want to be associated with an actual toddler.
You're fine.
Except I'm not an actual toddler, but okay.
I mean, you can believe whatever you want to believe, but
I'm gonna also stick with Nikki on this one for.
Yeah, you have
For
to because
legal
otherwise.
legal reasons.
Yeah, you're not allowed to not agree with me here.
Yeah.
yeah, he's allowed to. It's just gonna be funny. That's all it is.
Okay. So you guys get your long rest and wake up in the morning feeling. Actually, you know what? I need to roll
Oh
some
yeah.
things.
Right. The Feywild. We're gonna get
Ain't
grumpy.
got no guardian, yo.
Yeah, no guardian. We're gonna be grumpy. Well, we're still in the building, right? So we could be safe.
Yes, you guys are still semi-protected.
Keyword being semi there.
Yeah.
But real, you know that it is not uncommon if in the past, however long, for some of the drow, especially the kind of lower rank one, especially the warriors, to have some not fantastic times waking up in the morning and have to be basically cleansed, have to be helped by the mages and clerics.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, and.
To be expected.
Hmm.
I don't like it when Chase makes those noises.
Well, you shouldn't be too upset. You're not here yet, so.
Well, true, but still, I fear for you people. You know, I fear for you.
They're not the worst noises they can make.
Should the AC be reflected on my stat sheet?
No. It'll only be
That's sort of
reflected on the combat tracker. Yeah.
Yeah. I am trying to figure out how I'm gonna code a fucking amulet in here.
So I know how. So to increase your spell DC, you go to actions. It's around here somewhere. Weapon data. That's weapons. There's a way that you can change it so that all of your spells have the same DC.
I did that manually.
So on spells, cleric, cantrips, click the little magnifying glass, and it changes the save DC. Just add 2 to it, and do that for each level.
Oh, it's saying my DC's 12, so something's really fucked.
That's because it's not set to wisdom. Now it is on your cantrips. So set it to wisdom +2.
Why was it on wisdom 4?
There are any number of reasons why that could have fucked up. So
It's not
I
Am I retarded? Magnifying glass makes it expand. No, I would like to change this.
just
How do I remove the
Left click
spell?
makes it show up in chat.
Oh, there it is. Delete.
Maybe here. Yeah. Maybe here, and then I click this. Ah. Maybe.
Nope. nope.
No.
Click on spells, cleric, cantrips, literally right of the word
Oh,
cantrips.
this one.
Yes.
Pick it up.
And set each one to wisdom, which you'll have to click through the little menu next to the 8. Okay, so you guys wake up and the morning is yours. The Counselor Leveros wakes up, and one of the Shadow Blades, the one who was sleeping first, has woken up and has started preparing some cold rations with just a little bit of magic. And you can see them handing out basically kind of the equivalent of like lembas bread. These small, basically tasteless kind of nutrition bricks that they have made, and you've seen them around. and he hands the counselor one before taking one for himself, and then opens the basket to the rest of you guys. So you guys all have a tasteless and, for Joe, a single bite breakfast, but you feel reasonably satiated. It's basically the same magic as a good berry.
Excellent.
Oh, fuck.
The counselor kind of gets up, and you can see her putting on these kind of road leathers looking basic armor. She was just wearing robes before, and cinching her belt and preparing for the road. And she also, in addition to her kind of long flail thing that she has, like weirdly light spiked flail head that you can see her tuck, she also puts in 2 big black knives into her belt.
Hell yeah.
We left in a hurry last time, and I didn't have time to grab my things.
I lost a couple javelins, so she's not the only one.
Are we ready then to set upon the path for our remaining journey?
I think we are.
Did you find what you needed to
All
get
right.
here?
As much of it as I think we are going to.
Joe will get up and talk to Tyre and Draconic. Stay close to me.
Mm-hmm.
Stay close to me.
Make a persuasion roll.
Oh boy, it's gonna go great.
He's not entirely comfortable with you. He was much more comfortable with Kitchelorn. But he slept comfortably throughout the night.
Hey, I'll take it.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, he kind of eyes you, and then you can see he's eyeing the food as well, and he kind of bumps you as you say that, and a soft affirmative.
You know what? She won't eat the whole thing. She'll eat like 80% of it and give the rest to Tyre.
Okay. Yeah, the drow, the shadow guy, Shadowblade, there were like 20 pieces in this basket that he pulled out, and so once everybody's had 1 or 2, he just gives the rest to you.
Oh, okay. She'll eat 2, and then she'll hand 1 or 2 to Tyre, depending on how much he wants to eat.
Yeah, he hungrily takes both 2.
Okay. Then she'll just stuff whatever leftover one she has away in a bag.
So there's, I can look on the combat tracker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 of you, and you and Tyre both ate 2, so that's 9. So you have 11 left.
11. Okay. Good to know.
And you see one of the other Shadowblades as he kind of eyes the wyvern, the 15-foot long, probably even longer nose to tail wyvern in this very cramped space trying to eat food, and he kind of eyes it sideways and like says a couple words in Undercommon. And he says a couple of words in Undercommon, sees that you don't understand, and talks to the counselor, and she translates. No, I did not. Unfortunately, I do not have. I didn't think to pack that. I thought we had rations. I could normally conjure food and water, maybe tomorrow.
It is fine. The rations shall do for now.
I'm just a bit rattled. Tomorrow I'll be able to make much more food.
We all are. I just want to get out of here.
Okay. All right. Let us be off then. And she gives a short bark in Undercommon to the 2 Shadowblades, who take off, knives out, and they both turn invisible and go ahead of you guys. Despero?
Yeah, Despero immediately begins walking.
Okay.
Joe will be
All right.
the back, or as back as she can, because Tyre takes up a lot of space.
Okay. I need... so Despero, you're up front. You guys exit the compound, this underground compound, and you discover that the landscape is alien. You're every step takes you. Every footfall sinks deep into this kind of top layer of loam that is perpetually through the ground. Even what looks like stone is you discover is kind of lighter brown or lighter gray loam. This dense undercarpet of biomass. This very strange, and you guys walked through this area before. It was a mix of vegetation and plants and rock and stone and pathway, and it had been well worn down. But it seems that in just a couple of days that the Drow have vacated, this place is completely overtaken. And not only overtaken with kind of natural loam, but you see these tall purple mushrooms, like 6 to 10 feet tall, that are beautiful. They're faintly luminescent, and they kind of sprout up from this loam, and you can see that the mycelium roots structure going through them, going between them and deeper into the loam and into the world around you. It's kind of hauntingly beautiful, and amidst the few trees that remain, that these tall splayed open mushrooms are huge landmarks to you right now. They definitely catch your eye. Let's see. So I need survival checks. I need a survival check at disadvantage from one of you, and I need a perception check at straight roll from one of you.
Okay. My survival is +3, but I think Joe's got a far higher one.
I have a +4 for survival. So I can do the
I have
survival.
a +0 to both.
I have the best survival and perception, so
You can only do one.
yeah.
That's okay. I have enhanced ability. I can cast that.
Okay, I'll do survival.
Okay.
And you could do perception.
Okay, let me figure out which one of these buttons is. What's perception, wisdom?
Yeah. I mean, you could just roll the check with advantage.
Well, this is gonna go poorly. One dice rolled
Oh,
off the
shoot.
board, and the other one went, and I can see what number it is. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys get out a fair ways. Perception. Okay. So Joe, you begin kind of helping lead the group. Hello, whoever just joined us. Oh, Tom.
It's done.
Um,
I missed the fun part. A fun part.
the shadow blades periodically reappear and kind of give you some brief directions. But Joe, you are basically leading this group at this point, so I'll say you do eventually go to the fore to lead this group, and Tyre's kind of padding along near you. And I assume you're occasionally like levitating up to get a little bit better line of sight on things around you.
Yeah.
And as you are scouting ahead, Joe, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
And Tyre's actually going to throw it too, because he was falling pretty close to you.
Oh.
Okay, you succeed, but as you just barely you're kind of padding through, being pretty quiet. Actually, I do need a stealth check from all of you. I forgot about that.
Okay. Why does this say +10?
You must have left on
Pass without trace.
pass without trace.
Yeah, but I intentionally deleted. There we go. Got it. Hey, Despero, moving in silence.
Okay. Those are actually pretty decent stealth checks. Let's see how the Shadow Blades do. Wow.
I would love to not have to manually do all this shit.
So Joe, as you step forward, something snaps under your feet, and you manage to kind of use your tail you extend your tail backwards and kind of pull yourself back a hair. And with your feral instinct, you manage to dodge as Tyre kind of blindly, as soon as you like lurch, he like looks sideways and just takes another step straight into it. You guys, I'm going to share this map. You guys lurch into a snapping, splitting mess of these vines and kind of mycelium roots that gives way, and Tyre sinks in up to his kind of chest, and his wings are just his wings and head are sticking out. He's not a particularly graceful creature walking on the ground anyway, and he lets out a brief squawk of fright and not having a good time.
Oh boy.
You know what?
And nobody never knew what.
Sorry.
They don't know what they do, but it is.
But it can be.
Like,
Or
man,
is it?
No, you know
world
what?
without end, David.
It's not time yet. Yeah.
Is it not time
written in
yet?
the book.
I'm
So
ready. I'm ready. I'm always ready.
Oh boy.
I know, but it's not time yet.
Okay.
And that's it for today. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, guys. I'm leaving.
He just
Like-
deflates of all the energy he had for the day. It's just not time yet. Anyway, I'll just fucking catch you guys.
Remember to put comment and subscribe. Wait, Christina, you're not streaming.
I am.
Oh, you are streaming. Okay, I didn't see it.
I was gonna say what? No.
I was looking at the wrong
I
place.
was gonna say I thought I pressed the stream button.
I'm watching her stream. This is impressive. You're not
My
even
bad.
streaming this, Christina. It's just,
Oh my god.
oh my god.
Oh Jesus! I really
Tyre-
stepped in it as a cleric, didn't I?
Tyre yelps and gives a brief shriek as you see this collapse of branches and stuff, and you see the loam begin to close in on him.
Okay.
At the same time, you notice behind you, two of the trees move. They take large, rooty steps.
As soon
Okay.
as the branches start try to go around him, Joe is gonna pull out her axe and try to just cut him away.
Okay, let's make you know what? Let's just all roll initiative.
Okay.
All right.
If I can get my character sheet. Wait, hold on. I have advantage on initiative, right?
So the counselor's walking. Yes, you do.
One day I'll
Counselors.
remember where the fuck this button is. I swear to God.
It's on the front page, page 1 of your character sheet.
Oh, I believe you. But my eyes, man, my eyes.
It's next to AC.
And so it is. You're a gem.
All right.
Guys, we have company.
Oh, they look friendly.
No, they don't.
That's how friendly looks in my. Where I'm from, you ain't friendly unless you look like that. All right, we hard.
They may be my friends, but they
friendly, motherfucker.
You ain't from Michigan.
You ain't from Michigan if you ain't never found a tree like this before.
It's like killer. Just say.
All right. It is the counselor's turn first. Let me put you guys on actual grids. And the counselor is going to take a couple steps around, seeing Tyre sink into the thing, but she rolled really awful on her perception check. She's going to move five squares up, and you can see her pull out a knife and her long flail, and she's kind of getting ready for melee combat at this stage. So it is this. And Real, as you turn around, the counselor rushes off ahead of you, and you turn around and excuse me, excuse me again, Jesus. At the sound of a branch snapping loudly behind you, and you look, and this tree takes several steps forward.
No thanks.
Hmm.
I'm gonna read
Sorry,
this.
Counselor, I have something to do. I just gotta.
I don't love this.
It targets you. Oh man, I have to remember how to use this fucking system. I've been using Tabletop Simulator for the last 4 games.
I didn't know that.
So as you step for wow, that's a 12 against you. Can I multi attack? 3.
It doesn't
roots
have
attack.
to.
It's going to attack you 3 times. The 18 hits, and it lashes
18 does
out at
not
you.
hit. I have 19 AC.
Oh, I thought it said hit.
No.
Yeah. So as you, yeah, I just fucking misread it. This tree lumbers forward, and let me actually give you a full size picture of one of these guys because they're fucking cool. This guy.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's that Vincent
Oh,
Van
God.
Gogh painting, but done by Tolkien.
Weirdo.
Sunflowers?
The Scream is more what I was thinking of, but yeah.
Oh.
All right, so its roots lash up at you in kind of a weird fashion. Like the bark splits in the middle, and you see a number of eyes pop out of it, and the bark splits into this giant maw. And around as you're fixated on the eyes, your armor manages to tighten around you. And the roots come up and try and grab at you, but they slick off the slick metal armor you have around you. That's the next one's turn. And this one is going to take, let's see, right here. 1, 2, and he's going to target Despero. And the roots try and grab you too. It's a 19 and
Hey.
the 27 hits you. And you are pulled 10 feet in a straight line. There's damage, and its second attack against you, or its third attack, I suppose, is a miss.
All right.
It is the Drow Shadowblade's turn. The Shadowblades see Tyr get sunk into this mire, and they both pull out their they conjure their Shadowblades. And this one's going to try and cut him free. Hit. So it's just the 9 and just the also 9. So 18 damage. So it actually had 15 hit points. So Tyr is partially freed as this Shadowblade quickly just reaches down with its glowing blade and slices through one of the roots and quickly digs out Tyr's left side. The other Shadowblade is going to turn around and teleport.
I just wanna run.
He's going to teleport.
I just want to run. I just want to run.
Okay.
Teleport here and make 2 attacks against this. Actually, make an attack each against both of these oak trees.
For anyone watching my stream, just know that I'm not just randomly throwing shit in there. I'm copying off of the spell list I already have.
He hits both of them with a shadow blade, and an impact is made, and you see that they are not significantly hindered by that damage. It's Tyr's turn, and I think he's going to try and break free. And he does so with a 22. He does take another, at the top of his turn, he does take another 5 points of piercing damage. It's a low roll. But as he breaks free, 2 creatures reveal themselves from underneath him.
Oh, gross.
And both of them are going to make attacks of opportunity. A natural 20 on one of them.
Okay. As my reaction, I'm going to use Spirit Shield on Tyr.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
So 14 less damage.
He takes no damage from the attack, from the critical.
Good.
Yeah, it was only 3, 6, 7 points of damage.
I just heard crit, and I just went. Joe's like, nope.
Yep. So in response, Tyre is going to take the rest of his turn to dash. He's going to fly the rest of his movement, which was half from getting up from prone. So he's going to just fly by these guys and make an attack against each of them. He shouldn't have had disadvantage on that. He hit them both anyway. So as he does his flying leap, he just slaps both of them with his claws. They're both very small. In fact, they're a small size. And these strange little ugly. Damn it! Why is it doing that?
Ugly ass little dudes. Sorry, go on.
These little ugly, basically skeletonized kind of plant assembly. Basically a small like rib cage and plant innards with two kind of sickly little branches for arms and these tiny little claws at the end that are
Chase,
kind
are we
of
fighting Zen?
uh
Half-Life
no?
2 Zen looking ass dude?
no. This is an image that I found on the internet. I don't know what it's from.
Half-Life2.com.
No, it's
That's
Bloodborne.
yeah.
It's
looks-
Bloodborne, right?
Bloodborne,
This is from
yeah.
Bloodborne. Yeah.
Bloodborne.
Oh, is it? Okay. Okay.
works,
Well,
it
I was like, hey, it's a little humanoid. I needed a little humanoid with a big head.
Petite
And that's
little
what I got.
pustule people. I'm a fan.
Yeah, they're little pustule people. Yeah. They are
Don't
plant.
tell me that he isn't based off of goddamn Nyland from Half-Life 2. Get the fuck out of here.
I will tell you that because I have never played Half-Life, any of them.
There you go.
No. The Bloodborne character, not necessarily.
Oh, okay. So they both take attacks of opportunity against Tyre. Can Tyre do his third? Nope. Real, you're up.
All right. Well,
You
I
are
do-
not grappled, but you see that Despero is.
Yeah, I bonus action to give myself the temp health, and
Okay.
unfed by the tree, I move, provoking the opportunity attack. Also, I'm getting that move.
Oh, token lock.
thing.
There you go.
Yeah. so I
He's going to
provoke
make an
that.
attack of opportunity against you with his bite. That's a natural 20.
Oh, that's lame.
That is 27 points of damage.
16 points of damage. Nice. I also cast use my point my gun at Despero and cast enlarge on him.
Okay.
Hey.
Doop, 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 nope. Doop, 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 doop.
And move the rest of my movement over here.
2, 3, 4, 5,
4,
6.
5.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my turn.
Okay. Despero, you're up. You're not grappled, but every time it hits you with the roots, it was pulling you closer as like the ground underneath you churns and literally just picks you up and moves you.
Oh, okay. The whole time I thought it was restrained, as a matter of fact. I had a whole plan in mind. Well, since I don't need to execute that plan, I'll do this more simply. I'm going to target myself, so select your work. Did that work? There we go.
Yes.
And I will activate Soul of the Ancient stance to enter Valor of the Nomad. So pardon me while I activate all 7 of these effects. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Beautiful. Let me untarget myself. And boy, I sure am just gonna fuck this tree up.
Cool.
I'll make sure I'm actually targeting it. I'm not good at this. Actually, where's the combat tracker? That was a godsend last time. There we go.
Top right corner of the cross swords.
Got it. Okay.
Fucking wept. Look at that bullshit under him.
I know. No, as a note, most of those are just notes. Like
There we go.
gain advantage on one skill.
Here for the stream to see.
Yeah.
Yo, Wizards of the Coast, if they want to make a CompCon type shit for this thing, just
They did for 4th edition, and it was awesome.
yeah, dude. Remember that shit? That shit
Yes.
balled hard.
I still have it installed. It doesn't work.
I found it. There's a version that works. I found it again.
Fourth
Well,
edition
fucking send it to me.
was categorically awesome. But here, let me go ahead and start making some attacks.
24 hits.
Do some damage.
They do not have very high AC. No, they have medium
Since
AC.
that did hit, and since I am in Valor of the Nomad, I'd like to push him 5 feet, or is it 10 feet?
I think it's 10 feet.
All right, so I'd like
But
to
you can
push
do
him
that
10
once
feet.
per turn.
All right, and I
So you
will...
smack this tree, this very large tree, but you are also very large, so it's okay.
Yep. And
Actually, you know what? It is a size category larger than you. Go ahead and make a strength check for me.
Sure, I'm good at those.
Then you have advantage on it because you're enlarged.
Yep. And I think there's something. No, that's a save. There was something in Soul of the Ancients, but I'm pretty. That's a save. Where's the check? Here we go.
That's checks. Yeah. 11. So you actually, I'm gonna say you don't push it because you slap into this thing, and it is a huge creature. You don't overcome. It's basically just natural bulk.
Got it. Fair enough.
If it were equal size to you, you're considered large right now. If it were equal or lesser size, you'd push it for free.
Yeah, cool.
Or
So
did you just wait? Is that an actual rule?
No, I'm totally stealing that from Lancer.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sounds that sounds an awful
Alright,
lot like
so-
Blackbeard's fucking story.
Despero will turn his sword over at the wrist and just rake it across the tree again.
Cool. Hit.
Here's some more damage.
Oh no, that's 11 plus 9. Never mind.
All right, and with the 2-weapon fighting, he's going to thrust with the spear.
Cool. 26 hits.
26, some more damage.
13 more
Bang,
points
bang,
of
bang.
damage. Three
And-
solid hits.
Hell yeah.
3.
And Despero is actually going to move right over here.
And you get advantage or
Yeah, advantage against the save again, or rather, additional AC against the opportunity attack should it choose to take.
okay, so it's just a straight d20, which I don't think he can hit on you. Yeah, the 10.
Yeah, it's gonna miss badly. And yeah, he's going to position himself here to place an obstacle between this fucking tree and his homies.
Cool.
That's the end of his turn.
All right, Joe, you're up.
Okay.
The Tyre has broken free, and there's 2 small plant humanoids in front of you.
First things first, Joe's gonna rage. Boop.
Cool.
As one does.
Oh, excuse me. Jesus.
Oh, that did not modify my AC. Let's correct that.
She's gonna run.
It
up
doesn't actually
here.
change it on your character sheet. It only changes it on the tracker.
Oh, well, that's perfect. That works just fine then.
Yeah.
Thanks for calculating those shits, by the way.
She's gonna see
No
this fellow here, and she's not happy with him taking a swipe at Tyre.
Okay.
So let's do the big number. Raging Reckless Great Axe Great Weapon Master. I like my I put RARGAGWM. It's because I can't fit the whole thing. Oh, that's terrible. Still 16 now hit.
Hits. They are not very fast.
Oh,
It is destroyed.
okay, cool.
Nice.
Yeah, you just cleave down through it, and it splits cleanly down the middle.
Since I killed it, can I attack again?
You get an extra attack, but you already used your bonus action to rage.
Right. Okay, extra attack. Let's just kill this guy over here then too. Fuck it. Advantage. Do this again. Oh, that's a crit.
Nat 20.
This is
He's
just-
fucking dead.
I just want to roll it just for funsies.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
44 points of damage?
I rolled-
Holy shit!
Whoa.
23? Holy shit.
I rolled
She
an 11
has-
and a
yeah.
10.
And she's raging, and she has +7 strength because of the belt. Good fucking lord.
Yeah, advantage. Fucking.
Absolutely powderize this little mushroom man. And you see them. You charge towards them and bring your axe up, and up one side on one, and then down on the other with the 44 damage. You just absolutely flatten it into the dirt. And you see that as the parts come apart, the kind of fleshy interior gives off a faintly woody smell, and you see faint spores drifting up from the inside.
Shit.
A familiar purple spores. And you see them their body kind of still twitching and vibrating, a little bit of like synaptic static, like a little electricity is kind of crackling between their parts. But then and as it kind of intensifies for a second, it then calms down, and their bodies go inert.
Joe will still say in Draconic to Tyre, stay away from the corpses.
Okay.
If he
It is
listen
now
or understand
this
anything.
creature's turn. He just flew away partially, so he just got 2 attacks and then moved. But you can shout that at him for free. Yeah.
Yeah, she just shouts that at him at the end after she just decimated them.
Yep.
Don't you dare touch him.
This one is gonna fly. He can't quite get there.
Oh god.
This one's gonna fly over to you guys.
Oh no, I didn't see that boy up there.
What is that?
Chase, you might want to.
So you see this.
Okay.
You're in a quiet forest. I intentionally didn't change it from the mysterious.
Okay, that's fine.
Let me see. Do I have a picture of this one? I don't. You see. Well, here's the picture of something similar.
Oh, just corrupted.
Oh, it's a Kipine.
Yeah, it's a corrupted Kipine.
Adorable.
Not anymore.
Yes, they are. Oh, you haven't seen these before, Joe.
These guys are bastards. They're rat bastards.
They are bastards, but they're to your knowledge.
But they're
Not-
cute bastards.
They're cute and they're not unfriendly normally. This one has its feathers dripping this sickly black tar, and its antlers are coated in this disgusting like net of fungus, and it flies up to you, dives out of the tree, and is going to use Luring Song.
For the record, Job, we've seen one swoop down and rip a Cyclops' head off in one go, so be careful.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't
cool.
sound that bad, Joe. Get in there.
So here's a casual wisdom save.
Hey,
Success. Despero fails.
Oh,
Despero fails. Despero's the only one who failed. Despero, you are charmed and incapacitated.
Excellent.
As this thing makes a screech and its voice kind of modulates and gives this strange gurgle, and then you guys see visibly off of it, its feathers all kind of puff out and a ripple of energy bursts off of it, shaking some of the nearby mushrooms. If on your turn a charmed target is more than 5 feet away, it must use its movement to move as close as possible. It does not avoid attacks of opportunity. But before entering hazardous terrain, the creature may repeat the saving throw, as well as repeat the save at the end of each turn while charmed. It is the next one's turn. Who's going to fly? Nope, that's not it. Fucking Tabletop Simulator commands. Going to fly 40 feet straight in. You can get to there and target. Actually, not you. Oh, and that Shadow Blade. And also give that same kind of gurgling, twisting psychic shriek. Failure. Who failed?
Me.
Everyone except the canceller.
Oh, the Shadow Blades both failed, and Real failed. So you are also charmed and incapacitated.
Wait, I
You
failed?
are fucked. That's what you got.
Oh, I did fail. Wait,
You see,
are
yes.
we within the same 1 hour that I use enhance ability, or not? Or has time passed since then? Because I didn't actually.
The
You
enhanced-
just used it recently, so it's Wisdom. Go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll again. Wisdom saving throw.
Not
You
better.
still fail.
Slightly better, but not better.
Yep.
I'll just apply that effect to me. But yeah.
All right. And now, the last turn on the turn order is this spooky tree that moves, that uproots itself and moves 5 feet and makes attacks against Tyre.
God damn it.
It hits. It grapples him. It restrains him. And... Oh, sorry, I just got a text that I gotta read. I've been waiting for that text back all fucking day.
Oh, you know what, Chase? The enhanced ability breaks because I'm concentrating on enlarge.
Oh, okay. All right, that is that turn. Oops. It's the Counselor Levros. It is her turn. She is charmed. Nope, she is not charmed.
She's the one who's not
Boys.
charmed at this point.
She's the only one not charmed. She's going to use her. You're incapacitated, so she's going to use her bonus action to push Real. She pushes you, and you kind of stumble and fall. She's going to walk over here and create. How do you do this? Control. Both buttons. There we go. Circle. Give me the fucking circle. She's going to create a 20-foot circle of silence,
Nice.
immediately breaking the song from all of you guys.
Hey.
So Real, Shadowblade 1, Joe, and Tyre are free of it.
Yay.
Shadowblade 1. Tyre was never actually affected by it. Charmed, incapacitated. Joe, charmed, incapacitated.
Good thing she was the one who made it. Out of everybody.
Yep. So now that you guys have saved from it, you're immune to it for 24 hours.
Oh, okay.
Or you haven't saved, but the effect has ended on you. Holy fuck, that's cold. I did it
question for you,
again.
Chase. Is a melee spell attack and a melee attack? If it says melee attack, does a melee spell attack also trigger it?
Unfortunately, the
depends.
answer is depends. Yeah.
Flavor-wise, it tracks. I'll tell you that.
Ooh, okay, we'll talk about it later. So that's her turn.
That's why.
It's this oak tree's turn. This oak tree is going to target Despero and attack you with its roots. Because you're not in 5 feet. That's a 2. It's going to attack you again with its roots. That is a 26.
Yeah, I was gonna hit. Not to fuck myself over, but I am incapacitated, not like paralyzed or anything like that, right?
Correct. Let me go.
Then automatically crit.
Attack rolls within 5 feet of you are automatic crits. Melee attacks, I think.
Got it.
No, incapacitated is you just can't take actions or reactions.
Oh.
That's it. Stunned is auto crit.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Or paralyzed.
Boy, I'm glad
Yeah.
I have this ring of free action then. All right, cool.
Paralyzed is auto crit.
Yeah.
And then he's going to use his bite against you with his third attack. That's a 23. That hits. Here's damage. This one is going to target the Shadow Blade.
I'm in pain.
Not related to game.
Hit. And pull into melee range. And then bite. That's a nat 20. The Shadow Blade takes 36 points of piercing damage.
Ouch.
As the now identified as a Quickwood, you guys have seen these once before. Well, Malafia saw them. The Quickwood takes a large bite out of the roots just throw this Shadow Blade against the tree, and then the tree splits open and clamps down on the
It's the tree you shamed.
Yes, it is.
Do you remember that, Nikki?
Shadow Blade 1.
Yes, it is. It is the tree. It might not be the exact same tree, but it is this type of tree, correct?
25 is a hit, 12 is a miss. There's damage. And he misses his other one. It just glances harmlessly off the outside. This didn't work, actually. This Shadow Blade is going to create a sphere of darkness over there, and then teleport somewhere inside there. Tyre's turn. Tyre is grappled and restrained, and is just going to unleash a couple of attacks into the spooky tree. And you see that this one's like a big, like a willow with these long dangling vines that kind of look like they're swaying in the breeze. But then as they sway, they kind of oversway and just catch Tyre. And as soon as they touch him, they just wrap around him and begin reeling him in. So he's going to unleash 2 attacks, his bite and his stinger, against this thing. At disadvantage, that's a hit and a miss. Bite hits. And he is stuck as hell. Reel, you're up. Despero is still Despero. You are currently in a field of silence. You cannot cast spells right now.
Yeah, I'll just shoot her with my pistol twice.
Okay.
This guy. That's nerd.
Okay.
Wow. An extra
That's
attack.
an automatic miss. Does your weapon misfire?
No, it's magic.
Okay. All right, so that hits. 8 points of damage as your bullet just blasts a chunk of bark off, a small chunk.
Okay. And then I just, yeah, I guess I just hover. Oh no, bonus action to reapply the temp health.
Okay.
That's my turn.
All right, Despero, it's your turn. You are incapacitated.
Yep.
You are not grappled though, so you do have to move. And I think it was the first one that charmed you.
So, at what point in the turn order are the saves imposed?
At the end of your turn.
End of the turn, got it.
So you have to move as far as you can towards the charming creature. What's your turn?
I'm in Val of the Nomad. I can sit on him.
Okay. So yeah, you do. And
Buddy,
the Quickwood's gonna take a bite out of you.
I was gonna say though, as he goes into the field of silence to sit on him.
So yeah, actually, yeah. So you move this way and you take an attack of opportunity. Let me roll that real fast. That's a 20 to hit you. Does that hit? Oh, it's an opportunity attack and you're a nomad, so no.
Yep.
So as you get into the field of silence, I will say you are immediately cleansed of the song. This kind of echoing shriek in your ears just goes weirdly dead as you enter the field of silence. And you see this creature silently flapping about just a couple feet above you as it swoops down over the mushrooms.
Okay.
You have used your movement, I'll say, for the turn. Kind of stumblingly walking, but you do have your action now.
Being that is the case, I had something I want to do, but I'm in this silencing field, which is kind of serendipitous. So, instead of doing what I was going to do, I'm just going to swing on the fucking bird.
All right.
Let me make sure I'm targeting him. There we are. That should have done it, and it has. Let's do some violence.
I'm sorry, Despero's health is 66. It wasn't that before the.
No, because when we redid his class, he shuffled some points around. He took some out of combat and elsewhere.
13. Hit. Oh, really? That's it? Okay. All right, this is going to be part of the 2 weapon fighting elements, so he'll come up with the spear.
Where the fuck is the... Okay, there we go.
Do some more damage.
Vetoes.
And then back through with the sword. And more damage.
Did it hit?
Boom, boom, boom.
Okay.
Now,
Go ahead.
I could technically push him, but I'm not going to. Because I kind of want him in this circle of silence. That's a good place for him.
Yep.
That's the end of my turn.
Joe, your turn. You see Tyre getting wrapped up by this spooky tree over here.
Yeah, chump chump chump. Mommy Gator's not happy. Because basically she's Mommy Gator to Tyre now, since Dad's dead.
We're dead.
Do you want to target the vines that are...
Yeah, I was going to say I'm targeting the vines first.
Okay.
At least for the first hit. We'll see how that goes.
So just don't target anything and roll your attack rolls.
Is it at disadvantage? Due to attacking vines?
No, it's a straight...
Oh,
Nope, it's a straight attack.
Alright, well, we're just gonna go all out, so... Oh shoot, one went off the...
Are you going to reckless?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Also, you're still targeting the tree. Just untarget it for me.
Oh, okay. Cleared. I cleared
24 definitely hits. Roll damage.
Okay, I think I cleared it, so...
Yes, you did.
Alright. And
27. You nearly sever the vine that's holding him. You can take your bite attack if you want to do that as well.
Yeah, I'll take my bite attack to cut the rest if I can,
Sure.
because temp HP is nice. Advantage because I'm still recklessing. Right? Does that work still?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
22.
Yeah, that hits. And I think your minimum damage breaks it, but just go ahead and roll for me anyway.
12.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. You snap, you lunge with a flying leap, and you manage to sever most of the vines that are grabbing him. And on the way down, you just stick out your crocodile jaw and get the last one. And Tyre is broken free and kind of tumbles to the ground. He was partially on his side, and he tumbles and wipes himself.
I still have my second attack because I have extra attack.
Yes, you do.
So now I'll target the tree. Oh, by the way, I
Okay.
get actions. I get. Hold on.
Some temp HP, right?
Yeah. Where's...
This is disgusting. I regret this.
4 temp HP.
Lime juice and cranberry.
That
4
does sound
should be-
disgusting. Why have you done that?
Is it just your proficiency bonus or something?
Yeah,
HP?
4, yeah, I think so. But 4 temp HP. So then we're just gonna
Okay.
swing at the tree. Oh shoot! I forgot I had advantage. Well,
Well, you hit anyway, but just go ahead and fish for the crit.
What gives the advantage?
reckless.
Reckless attack. You're not targeting it, but I will target it for you. Yes, she gets advantage against her.
Ah,
Okay,
Still
am
one
I-
of the coolest things about
Am I
Barbarian.
targeting?
It's one of the best features ever. Yes, you're targeting it now. You hit it with a 22 easily.
31.
31 points of damage. Yeah, you take a pretty sizable chunk out of this tree. And that's your turn.
Yep.
Okay, it is Nightmare Harpy number 1's turn, and it is going to attack Despero with the multi-attack.
Come on. I'm right here. And I'm big.
10 and 4. It misses you with both and attempts to fly through you. You do get an opportunity attack against it should you choose.
Should I choose? Boy, boy, fucking
I
crazy.
can't choose.
You fucking crazy.
Damn well he can't choose. Not since the war.
I'm assuming that fucking hits. Of course it does. Here's some damage.
Yes, it does, yeah.
Blood war, David.
Yep, 14 points of damage. You smack it reasonably hard.
You know, damn.
Actually, it nearly goes down, but it tries to fly away from, so it's going to fly through you and away this way. 1, 2, 4. Yeah, I can get there. This one is going to dive bomb the Shadow Blade and make a multi-attack against him. Miss. So it's going to fly away and also get opportunity attacked by this Shadow Blade.
Nice.
Shadow Blade is targeting the Harpy. He's going to use Shadow Sword. Natural 20. He's fucking dead.
Oh Jesus! I just see all the dice go
That was a
on the
lot of dice.
floor.
Yeah. So it takes the hit and it resists. It looks like it resists some of the damage, but it's a fucking pile of feathers. Oh wait, hang on, that was at full health. Never mind, that was not dead.
We call that
It's only mostly dead.
There's a very big difference
Alright,
between
it is-
dead and mostly dead.
There is a big difference between all the way dead and mostly dead. This one, the spooky tree, is going to attempt to make attacks against both Joe and Tyre. It shouldn't have been an advantage against Tyre.
I'm gonna do another spirit shield if it hits. By the way.
Okay. It hit you, and it's 16 hits Tyre.
All right.
So go ahead and roll the
9.
damage. Reduces it by 9. It prevents all of the damage to Tyre.
Hey.
I need to give him back 7 hit points.
Joe made a promise, man. She's gonna keep it.
Yep. And it grapples both of you.
Great.
restrains both of you.
Great.
So you are also pulled adjacent to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the counselor's turn. Gotta scroll through her shit again. She doesn't actually have that much she can drop on you guys right now. She's gonna step out of the circle, and who all is damaged?
And Despero.
Despero was quite damaged, but I don't think she can heal him right now.
She can. You don't have to be.
She can't be in the
see
circle.
darkness.
She can't be in the circle.
Yeah,
if she
she's out of
loses.
the circle.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's extremely important. Can you target things that are inside of a circle of silence with magic so long as the caster's out of it?
Yes.
Yep,
When you cast Circle of Silence, does it have to be on your position or can you target it?
it's targeted.
That. I won't rant right now. It's not my turn. We'll talk about it later.
It's good. It's very
That's
good.
so
Good.
good.
Silence is always
So
good.
Change the
fucking
vibe.
good.
If there's a lot of verbal and if they can't move.
Yeah. She heals all of you for 15, including you, Joe. I just forgot to
Oh.
target you.
Okay.
And then she steps back inside the circle. And as a bonus action, she's going to. How do I clear targeting? Targeting, clear. She's going to target this harpy and fling a dagger at it, which crackles. Well, that's a nat 20, and it crackles with energy as it flies through the air, and it fucking blasts it. And then the dagger teleports back to her belt. The Quickwood is going to move closer and make an attack against each of you. Hits Despero, because of course it does, and the Shadow Blade.
Joe, it's happened.
What happened?
Oh.
I'll put it in Dragonspine. I'm playing Stellaris. This is my newest enemy. He's mad at me.
Oh.
He's so cute. Gonna send this charade. Inferior.
Extremely hostile.
No, I imagine him speaking in like an ironically hyper posh British accent. Let us end this charade.
Wow, 2 critical hits on the Shadow Blade.
Oh no.
Fucking the Geico lizard wants to go.
This Shadow Blade gets hit and dragged 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares.
Oh, poor guy.
It is that Shadow Blade's turn. He's actually doing okay.
All
He's
things
going to
considered.
first. All things considered, he's doing okay. He's going to make 2 attacks against the Quickwood.
Oh, that was the first time you tagged. Okay.
19 into 3. They can never hit both because then they only get the cool thing if they hit both. And then he's going to use his bonus action to teleport. Poof. Shadowblade 2 can see through the magical darkness and is going to target the same Quickwood and hit it with 2 shadow swords, for which he has advantage. Please hit both. Hit. Hit. Damage, damage, and a bonus
It's dead.
damage. It is dead. You see out of this darkness 3 shadow blades just from both of the shadow blade characters and sink into this tree and hit it in various places that eventually it crawls to a stop and the roots kind of strangle out towards the shadow blades in the darkness for a second before going limp. All right, Tyre's turn. Tyre is restrained. He's going to attack the spooky tree with his bite and then his stinger. Automatic miss and a miss. Real, you're up. Oh, Tyre also takes 3 points of damage from being restrained in the spiky stuff. Real, you're up.
Okay.
You gotta free him.
I shoot this guy.
What do you think I've been trying to
Okay.
do?
You successfully did it last turn.
Yeah, for a turn.
That's a hit.
But you guys don't know what's going on behind you because it's quiet from both of us
Yep.
because we're still in the silence.
Yeah.
I do it again.
Okay. That's a hit.
Cool. Nice.
Nice. Yeah, you quickly just well, it's quiet, so it doesn't matter.
Sounds.
Pew pew.
All right, do you have a bonus action or anything?
I do have a bonus action, but I don't use it for anything.
Okay. Despero, you're up. I believe both of the harpies ahead of you are dead.
Oh, okay.
This was
Oh yeah,
the
because
tree.
you don't fucking shot him. Yeah.
Yeah, it does the 2 trees.
No, this makes this a lot simpler.
One of the
Despero's gonna
trees is
move
dead, too.
right here.
6 is dead. It says dying anyway.
Yeah, tree 6 is dead. There's 2 remaining.
There's this tree and that tree.
There's a spooky tree and a quick tree.
Right. I am going to quicken the blink spell. So I don't even know if I need to target myself to resolve this effect, but I'm gonna do it anyway just to keep safe.
Yeah. I don't think you do, but
Yeah, because it doesn't do anything.
yeah, it doesn't do anything. It just makes you concentrate on it.
Yeah, you know what? It's fine. Yeah. So I am casting a blink spell. Or yeah, quicken casting rather.
Okay.
What level is this spell? I'm obviously just looking for improved quicken
2?
spell damage. Let me double check.
I think it's 2.
I believe you, but I still want to check just to do my due diligence. No, it's 3. Beautiful. Right. We cast a blink spell. It's not relevant right now. I'm going to swing on tree, so let me target tree.
You are targeting tree.
We're going to start with the spear this time. Here we go. Assume that
Hit.
hits. Alright, here's some damage, and then I'll roll the 3d6 force damage. That's a 1, 2, 3. Come on. Oh, that only rolled 1. That's 2, 3.
So you need to give it an extra 12 points of damage.
Yep. And I will push it 10 feet. Well, try to in any way. I assume that means another strength check.
Yep, strength check.
Here it is.
Well, I won't move it yet. You have to overcome a 17.
That's
there you
correct.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you managed to smack it twice with your weapons, and the impact of you feel just extra force behind your elbows as you stab both your weapons into it. And as the magic surges through you and around you in this strange place, you feel that kind of extra push at your back from your ancestors, throwing your force forward.
Hell fucking yeah. And Despero will follow through. He will use some of his movement to get back into position and resolve the second part of his 2-weapon fighting attack.
You already used your bonus action to attack.
Oh,
To
two-weapon fighting is bonus? I thought it was... Okay.
Yeah, 2-weapon fighting is a bonus action to take the second attack.
I'll bear
Or the
that in
extra
mind.
attack.
Well, then here's just the naked second attack. Here it is. Alright, 13 damage, and then, at the end of my turn, I'll roll my d20 to see if I blink out of existence for a second. Be right back, guys.
Ooh, I don't know.
I believe it has to be 11 or higher. Let me double check. Let's see. A roll of 11 or higher, so I do not vanish from existence. Pity, pity. Alright, end of my turn.
All right, Joe, you're up.
Okay.
You are grappled and restrained by a spooky tree.
Okay. How's the tree looking in terms of damage?
It's that hit with your axe was pretty serious, but other than that, it's only suffered a single minor wound from Tyre.
So it's an action to break free? If I try to,
It's an action to break free of the grapple, yeah. Or you can try and attack the vines.
or I can try to attack him at disadvantage, right?
The vines.
Oh, just the vines?
The vines or him at disadvantage. Or either at disadvantage because you're restrained.
Fucking, I'm just gonna attack the
Oh, hang on.
vines. Oh, what?
Hang on. Half of the damage suffered by the vine is also dealt to the tree itself. So you dealt 30 damage to the vine before, so the tree takes an additional 15.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, then I'll attack the vine then. So reckless, great
Okay.
weapon. So
So
just a straight roll.
straight roll. And give yourself advantage on it so that it
Oh shit.
Yeah, I'm ignoring that. Give yourself advantage on it, and it'll cancel the disadvantage.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, that's still not great.
Misses.
I'm gonna go again.
Okay,
Come on, better this time, please. Thank you.
that hits.
Ah, nice.
And maximum damage. You immediately sever the vine, doing another 15 damage to the tree.
35 damage actually, so that's halved his.
So the vine only had 30 health, so it can only take the 30.
Oh, okay. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Let me hold on.
And you are no longer. I assume you were attacking the one on yourself.
Yes, I was.
Okay, so you are no longer grappled or restrained.
That's all I can do, unfortunately.
Okay. The spooky tree is going to make a bite attack
At who?
against Tyr.
Okay.
Tyr, that's a 25.
I'm gonna do the. I'm gonna use the spirits again.
Okay, that's fine.
So let's see if I can negate that. Only one
Not
hit.
quite. Takes 1 point of damage.
Dang it!
So
One
he
dice,
gets-
1 and a 2. Come on.
As the vines kind of retract into the tree, it slowly splits open, like down the center, like vertically, and just clamps onto Tyr, and then continues pulling him in, and it actually swallows Tyr.
How dare you! All right, this tree's dead. Like he's gonna be more than just lumber now.
It is the counselor's turn, and she sees that all the harpies are dead, so she's going to drop the field of silence.
It'd be funny. It's like as Joe starts roaring in anger at when Tyr gets swallowed, but there's nothing, and then the silence drops, and then you just hear screaming.
She's going to target the tree and fling a dagger with her bonus action. Where the fuck is it? That's a miss. It glances off the hardened outside as she kind of pulls her shot to not hit Tyr.
You gotta respect it.
And she's gonna look. She really doesn't have much. She really doesn't have very many offensive spells. She'll just use her action to fling another knife. Hit. Damage. It hits the tree. This Quickwood's turn is going to make all of its attacks against Despero. Can it use its bite more than once? 2 roots and 1 bite. So it's going to try and bite Despero. That's a 15. It's going to use its roots against Despero. That's a hit and a miss. And here's the hit. 7 points of damage, and you are pulled. You're adjacent already. And that's its turn. Shadowblade 1 flings 2 knives. Shadowblade 2 also flings 2 knives. They have advantage on these. 2 hit. So that's the first one. Massive damage. 36, 37, and 28 points of damage. And then Shadowblade 2 is going to run this way. Target that one. He's in range. Critical hit and a hit. Here's the crit. Here's the hit. Here's the bonus damage. 63 points of physical poison and necrotic, and then 34 and 21 to the spooky tree.
Jeebus.
Kidding, the spooky tree is still alive.
Oh, dang it.
How?
Oh, spooky tree. Okay, I was gonna say like Quickwood's deader than a motherfucker. I don't know why he's even on the board.
The spooky tree is still alive though. And it is now Shadowblade Tyr's turn. Tyr is going to thrash against it. He takes some ongoing damage. He takes 1 point of ongoing damage. and then he bites the tree, and then he stabs the tree with his stinger. He hits, and the tree dies because it only had 1 hit point left.
Oh. I'll say as it dies, Joe's just gonna run up the tree, use her axe to like rip its mouth open, and try to get Tair out.
Yeah, Tiger, you can see him just thrashing around inside, scraping up the walls and making the tail attack against it. And as you slam into it with the axe and begin prying the mouth open, it shudders for a second, and then the tail blasts out of the tree's kind of mouth and flails wildly, nearly hitting you. Before a wing sticks out, and then the mouth of the tiger just chewing on the sides.
Shh. I got you. You are safe. Yeah, she says. She says as she's still raging.
Yeah. And he eventually forces it open and jumps up and takes a couple of flaps around, circling the area before landing over here.
I just realized something about Tair.
Yep.
That stinger he's got a stinger, right? That's how he made the attack? That stinger he's got, he's just a logical conclusion of what would happen if pseudo-dragons could actually grow in size.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what wyverns are.
Right.
Well, pseudo-dragons are mimics are natural mimics of wyverns.
Yeah, they're morphologically similar, but they're cat-sized.
Well, they're literally called pseudo dragons because I'm pretty sure they were created to look like them.
I think pseudo-dragons also have 4 limbs and plus 2 wings.
Yeah.
They do. That is true.
I'm pretty sure it was like someone eyeballed after reading a book on vaguely what dragons are, eyeballed what it would look like put together.
As cat-sized, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that stinger does 7d6 poison damage plus 2d6 plus 4 piercing.
God
So-
fucking damn.
It hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah, wyverns aren't amazing combatants, but if they can get a multi-attack off you on you with a bite, that's a lot of d6s for a CR6.
So, fuck, Despero's still big, right?
Yes, for how long? Like an hour? How long does the Enlarge Reduce last?
1 minute.
Oh,
Despero
that's it.
says, well fought.
2 Shadow Blades step out of the darkness and dismiss their blades. You see on the ground in the center, which kicked off this whole thing, the man trap that I rolled on my random encounters table. That
Like a red box.
looks a whole lot like a red box. That is this kind of failure of the underbrush to support this incredibly fast blooming fungus, and the 2 bodies that Joe completely obliterated of the little fungiform creatures lay slain there, and the counselor looks over them. She says something in undercomment to one of her men, and one of the Shadow Blades jumps down into the pit and grabs both, covers his mouth with like a large cloth, jumps down into the pit, grabs the body, and teleports out. And they spend a moment examining it, and she kind of, after a moment of study, she calmly just kind of says, "I've not seen one like this before. It appears larval, less developed. Real, do you see any resemblance to the other ones we've fought?"
Joe.
Let me check.
It's just gonna go around and
How do I check? Do I just roll?
It would be a probably medicine check, or you can tell me what skill you'd like to use for that, depending on.
On
What you
wisdom?
got?
I'm not proficient. I have wisdom. I'm proficient
your
in
enhanced
insight,
abilities.
but
Yeah, you could try an insight check. So yeah, go ahead and roll an insight for me. Your advantage has fallen off.
yeah. I mean, does. No, hang on. Yeah, that's not it.
Yeah, you're a
Yeah,
little
good.
too rattled. The silence spell and your gun's not making sound was very strange.
Oh, I have investigation, which is still a 7.
Still
which
no.
would change it to a 9. Yeah, nah.
Yeah, you don't recognize anything particular. She does confirm. Yeah, this is virtually undeveloped. It appears to be still plant, but just beginning to be so. Concerning. We need to keep moving. Are you okay to keep moving, or do you need a moment? To the rest of the group.
Joe will kind of give a snort, check Tired a little bit more, and then give a nod.
He's got some scrapes. He's got a couple scrapes. Tired does, but yeah. Otherwise, we're fine. Despero, are you gonna ask for a?
I think this is a good. And that good, he blinks out of existence because he forgot to turn off the spell. He'll be back in a minute.
But he fails the wisdom check, forgets that he cast blinks, and drops the spell while he's in another dimension.
He reappears in the space, just kind of slightly confused.
And that's why they call me Burnt Dick Stevens in the north.
No, when he does come back to existence, he Despero's not very observant, but he knew that, oh fuck, I'm in a different plane of existence. When he comes back, he says, I apologize. I think it would be in our best interest to keep...
He blinks out again. He blinks back in.
An unsuitable place to rest.
She's like looking at you, just kind of waiting. He blinks out again.
He should only be making 10 total checks.
He blinks back. That was the 10th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it was the 10th. You blink out again. At the very end, at the tail end of the spell, he blinks out twice more, and then reappears. And the spell, you feel the spell end, and he shrinks down to normal size at that time too.
And that is why Voyin believed that the measure of a man's strength is determined by the depth of his wounds.
Oh my god, can we fucking turn on Blink again? Can we
He soliloquized when he
Rage
was in the ethereal plane.
Can I cast Blink on someone else?
I'm taking all the stuff off of you, Despero, because your stance ends after a minute as well.
Yeah, of course. Why are you all looking at me like that?
The Shadow Blades are like sheathing up and ready to go.
I approach you, Despero, and then I cast like nothing. Don't worry about it. And I cast Cure Wounds, level 1 Cure Wounds.
Okay. Yeah, the council's also gonna come over and cure wounds you.
You have, Riol, become decidedly more attentive to my battle wounds since we copulated. Thank you.
Hold on, copulated? Where?
Just check the VOD.
Oh, you were there for that.
Yeah, just check the VOD.
The shorthand, in case you don't want to watch the entire VOD, is that Joe 100% tricked Despero into sleeping.
Yep.
Go. Go.
I very straightforwardly lured him into the position, but yes.
Anyone with half a brain would have caught any of the hints, but he's just like, yes, we should wind down after battle. Yes, I suppose
Together,
these pants are
naked.
constricting. I suppose we should lock the door, yes. I suppose I will sign this consent card.
To the left.
All right. So after your brief skirmish, the counselor agrees with Despero, and he is right. As slow as he said it, it would be unwise to dairy. I don't know the fucking
Both
word.
those work, actually.
Tarry or tally.
Yeah. Two different meanings of a similar thing.
It would be unwise to
Worse
stay
versus
here.
worse meaning.
To dilly-dally. It would be unwise to procrastinate. It would be unwise to not move ourselves from this particular location.
Despero starts walking while she pontificates.
Yeah. She ceases pontificating and moves. So I need you guys to make a survival check. with disadvantage and a straight perception check. Somebody.
All right. Do you want me to do the survival check again, or do you want me to do the perception?
If you could just like perceptively survive, we'd be indebted to you.
I literally Chase won't let me do both.
Fuck you, Chase.
This is one of you guys looking for the way out of here,
You know
and
what,
the
you know
other,
what, you know what?
and another one of you guys keeping an eye on the skies in your back.
You know what? Fuck it. I have a good survival. You have the best perception. I think I have the second best survival, so I will do survival.
All right. Do it at disadvantage.
Yep. So probably not gonna be much better than a fucking. Yeah. So it's a 10.
Okay. Okay.
Perception. Let's see how this goes. 8.
Okay. So Joe, with your excellent perception check, though it takes you guys to the better part of another couple of hours to get to anything even resembling familiar terrain, you do eventually make it to the bridge. Let me reopen the Feywild map.
Oh, it's been a hot minute.
It has been.
Oh boy, it's not working.
Yeah, it'll get there. It's a big
It's not
file.
loading. It's just a red question mark.
It's a big file.
There we go.
It'll
There
get
we go.
there.
Oh no!
It still hasn't loaded for me. Don't wait.
Hmm.
Oh, excellent.
That's
Well,
disconcerting.
yeah, you guys don't know that. So you guys reach the bridge. I can't just show you with my mouse anymore because that's a tabletop simulator thing. You guys reach the bridge right here, and you are looking now out across the Willow Curl grasslands, and you can see in the distance the Arbor Exemplar. But you remember from your last time here that it is very far away.
Mm-hmm.
And as you guys step out of this, the walls of Asonalin, you guys are met. Both the Shadowblades immediately and wince as direct sunlight hits you guys. The Counselor and Real seem less affected, or Real almost entirely less affected. And the Counselor just kind of, she you can see a sigh of frustration, but she kind of covers herself with a nomad wrap. And shields herself. What do you guys want to do?
I think we start walking, cause that's all we can do at this point.
Okay. You guys want to walk straight across the grasslands? You want to follow the river? What do you guys want to try and do?
I feel like you had the best chance following the river.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
And for an additional reason, in a technical sense, we have a friend in the river, if it is the river I'm thinking of.
Yes, it is.
It is.
So, in lieu of an actual guide, our Mr. Laquaxis may be our best bet to actually get a realistic bearing in this fucked up place.
Yeah. Well, we'll go talk to Laquaxis, I guess.
As the counselor's like just puzzled looking at Despero and Joe talking about Laquaxis. What do I want to know?
We gave. How do we put this? It's a elemental of the river that, let's say it owes us a favor.
That must have been a feat in and of itself. Beings as fickle as the Fae are usually not ones to give favors owed so lightly.
Joe's just like
If you think
remembering.
it'll help, I trust you.
Joe's just gonna remember the whale. Oh, yes, it was quite unique.
Remind me, what kind of whale was it? I think it was a fucking blue whale, right?
Blue whale,
It was
yeah.
a sperm whale.
Sperm whale.
It was
Sperm
a
whale.
Sperm whale, okay. Fun fact, did you know
So-
that sperm whales have the biggest teeth of any living animal?
Yeah.
That's horrifying.
Yeah.
You know
That's
what else?
Baleen, right?
They have the biggest.
No,
No,
it's not
they're
baleen, it's
toothed whales.
Teeth.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
Sperm
extra
whales are
horrifying.
toothed whales. Yeah, they're not baleen whales.
All right.
Well-
We'll go down the river to where we saw Laquaxis last.
Okay. So do you guys want to try and walk down the river towards where you crossed, or do you guys want to just like try and find him in the river where you are currently?
I think.
the thing to do is. Sorry, go on.
Oh no, go ahead, Jared.
Well, I think. Fuck it, I'll say it in character. I think our best opportunity to get a realistic bearing is to retread the steps we made the first time we visited this river.
So you guys approached the river previously from the other side.
Yeah,
So
I was.
You guys came this way.
Yeah, I was gonna say, maybe we go to the area that we at the point where we crossed, because he is probably still at least in that area.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it is his river. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, real. This is equally puzzling to you.
Actually, for a matter of fact, I don't know the extent to which Despero can do this at will, but he's going to make an attempt to extrude his agency into, like, you know, the ancestral intercession that, like, controls him more than he normally does, to get a little bit of a sensitivity to where Liquaxis might be, to try to, like, see him without seeing him with his eyes.
Sure, absolutely. Go ahead and make a religion check for me, and you may do so with advantage.
All right.
Come on, let's go.
There's an advantage.
All right, so that is a 12.
12. Okay. You reach out with your senses, and you kind of sit down for a second, and let yourself feel like the around you, like your meditative training has taught you to do, and you reach out with your senses, and you detect spirits of your ancestors alongside you, like always, and you kind of get this vague, like, sitting around a campfire deep in the mountains, and as the waves wash past you, of the waves of wind and grass and pollen wash past you, you kind of focus on that wave motion, and you end up focusing on the water elemental, and you seated on the bridge, I'll say, you sense his presence here below you. You just have to contact him. You just have to reach out and contact him.
Cool.
He's not a spirit of the river. He is the river.
Right. Oh, we both know Primordial, which he speaks. So
Both of you do speak Primordial.
thank God. Good thing we both took Primordial.
So Despero does tell Joe specifically. It seems we needn't have even traveled this far. And instead of elucidating further, he points down.
The counselor shares a look with her shadow blades, and they just all kind of shrug.
Joe's gonna look down at the river, and then she's gonna talk in her Gator Primordial.
Hell yeah.
Gonna call
Deep
out.
Louisiana swamp Primordial.
Yeah.
Florida woman
This
knows
how
how
they
to talk
speak.
to water,
This how they
motherfucker.
speak primordial down in the bayou.
And
man.
she's gonna call for Liquaxis.
Okay. Now, it's not easy to make a river listen to you.
What you
So I
call
need
that?
both of you to make persuasion checks for me as you guys kind of
Oh,
yell out for Liquaxis in Primordial.
This is gonna go great.
Yeah, this is gonna go great.
That's pretty decent.
Hey.
That's pretty decent.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, as both of you kind of talk about it for a second, and then this deep guttural roar of a crocodile, and I don't know how Despero sounds when he's speaking Primordial.
Well, it's the way I like to flavor it is like it's decidedly trance-like, but the idea is it's a multiplicity of voices because it's not him.
Yeah, it's
the
his ancestors.
Yeah.
So Aquin, the flavor of Primordial that you're speaking is just like the sound of rushing water and waves and sloshes and
Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle.
water sounds, yeah, and
Glug, glug, glug,
gargling.
glug, 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 glug.
Like, oh shoot, I wish I had a
Or
bottle.
like
I was gonna say,
yeah,
I wish
as my cool snake people from yesterday go.
I wish I had a
You
bottle.
fucking murdered me, Devin. Go ahead, Christina.
I was
Sorry.
gonna say, too, if I had a bottle of water, I would just put a bunch of water in my mouth and go. Gurgle.
Yeah.
You sound like a fucking murloc.
Yeah.
Oh! Murlocs actually speak Aquan. I'd be willing to bet money on that.
They dead ass speak. My tonsils are 4 times too big.
Anyways.
So as you guys kind of together on this bridge, and Briel, now you're concerned as well, and the counselor's like, did you do something to him?
I don't know.
Calling the Murlocs.
I don't know. I don't know. Just shrugging, just like, shaking my head like
I just fucked him. I didn't expect him to fucking.
I just
start-
wrecked that dick. I didn't know it made me stupid. Sorry, go on.
Oh, she knows. And the Shadowblades are both kind of like hands on their hilts, like as they look around at the sudden outburst of noise from the two of you, and suddenly the river, the kind of rushing of the river just immediately stops, and it like the glass-like surface appears on it, and you guys hear the burbling of rocks, of water against rocks down these slight rapids that the bridge covers become Aquan language, and it's who summoned me.
And Despero says again in that multiplicity of voices,
Mhm.
a friend. And he stands up from his sitting position and peers over the side of the bridge to look down directly into the reflective surface of the now glass-like water and waves.
And as you look, your reflection does not wave back.
Yep.
But it looks up at you and kind of hands on its hips. Oh, it's you again. Separated from your guardian, are you?
Despero responds. The only reason I'm not doing the Despero voice is like it's many people talking.
Yeah.
Yes, we have incurred a wholesale failure on our initial objective. Now we come to you beseechingly. We need direction back to the Arbor Exemplar.
My river runs by there. I'm not going to keep doing that. It's hard to talk.
Glug, 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 glug.
My river runs by there. You
know
beseech
what
the
I
help of me in place of her.
We have now, as a burden of spirit, 2 dead friends, for whom their death rests as our responsibility, and the core of our objective is recompense, and then after, escape.
Shake.
Unfortunately, one of the friends of ours who has died was the friend who originally treated with you.
I thought I sensed a burden lift. With her passing, our bond was broken.
Fuck.
But a being of the Feywild is not so easily destroyed, as long as memory holds it. I have also felt other bonds slip away, but I know not what to do with myself.
Mistress Nyx is dead.
I'm so sorry, guys. I gotta piss. I'll be right back.
Go for
Okay.
it.
There's all the talk of river talk and stuff. I had felt the Mistress of Night leave. I felt her weight off of this land, and indeed I feel the weight of the land off this land. What
Right.
is the land around me? What am I but the water in the land? With
Joe's Joe's gonna like instantly like sag against the bridge and go. But she's gonna try not to
What?
show it. But
For my part, I regret the passing of your friend, the Guardian Melifia. And for my part, I will keep her alive in memory. as long as it holds. In memory of her, I will grant you her favor.
Joe's gonna kind of bow her head a little
Guidance.
bit.
If guidance is what you seek, I can guide you close to the Arbor Exemplar. My river does no boundaries. But given that I am of much freer will than I was before, my previous bonds all broken. The King of the Sea no longer commands me.
Oh, fuck.
Wait, what?
I don't know what to do with myself without his direction.
On a scale of 1 to bad, this is dog shit. I'm just letting y'all know. This is.
I will take you back to the Arbor Exemplar, or as near as I can get you to it.
Stay?
And I hope that I find some purpose along the way.
Well, do you mind if I can give you a suggestion?
I am proverbially all ears.
After you finish escorting...
This is Joe. Joe, as you lean over, this is now your reflection talking to you.
Yeah. Once you finish speaking with us and guiding us to the summer court, I would ask you attempt to make your way to the solar throne, to at least warn the one who sits upon it of the passing of Nyx and of the Winter Court. That he must come to help assist the Summer Court and make a last stand, or else it is the end of all.
Okay, go ahead and make a persuasion check for me.
It's probably not going to go well, but we'll give it a shot.
That's fine.
Yeah, believe in yourself.
I've never been beyond my own waters. A sentiment I sure must be strange to a mortal.
It's a
You
suggestion.
can so freely walk the land. I fear I cannot reach the solar throne. My waters only take me so far, and once I delve into the depths of the greater waters of the sea, well, that's what put me in bonds to begin with.
Then do what you can for the Summer Court. Keep anything.
I owe them a great debt as well.
Keep the infected out.
That I can do.
Joe will kind of bow her head again.
Now, if we are to move, I had best take you quickly. I have work to do. You know, eroding land and all that.
Must be tiring work.
Despero says, in common to all of the, everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
They, and he uses the word they have treated with this spirit. It will guide us.
The counselor just kind of eyes go wide for a second and goes, okay. It's no stranger than anything else we've seen in this place, whatever.
Just stay
Okay,
close.
so we have a guide now. And the rapids beneath you kind of swirl and begin coursing, but they begin coursing the opposite direction, now upriver. And as you guys kind of step down to the dirt alongside, the water laps at your feet and like starts tearing away at the mud underneath your feet. And before long, Despero, you and Joe being the closest, your feet start to slide and you guys get pulled in. You like fall on your butt and your feet get picked up by the river. Do you try and resist this or do you let it happen?
I'm gonna let it happen. Fuck it.
Despero does not resist.
Joe
Sorry,
can
go on,
swim.
go on.
Joe can swim. She's fine with this.
Yeah.
She's gonna bark at Tyre, follow me while flying, so he doesn't have to get, in the water. Just hover above me, kind of basically.
Okay, he's gonna he cocks his head and chirps for a little bit, and then extends his wings and kind of stretches a little bit.
Yeah, and Despero doesn't resist in any meaningful way because he's not unused to treating with elementals, but he does kind of cooperatively surf.
Sure. Yeah. So you get pulled by the feet in, and as your butt hits the ground, you continue getting pulled. But as you get rushed along the river like you just fallen in, your head stays above it just barely.
Joe's gonna do that alligator thing where her head just is above the water and her whole body's like lax
beneath it. Yeah.
Yeah, like do.
Yeah, and the drow and real, how do you react to this?
Just watch in curiosity.
Your two companions are being pulled away from you on the current. The counselor's like,
Do we follow? Like
Joe like noticed that they're sitting there, and she's gonna like wave an arm to like come on.
The counselor's like, you can see a visible shiver goes down her. Oh, I hate this. And she ties up like whatever she can on her and cinches her pack, and then kind of steps forward hesitantly. And as soon as she takes a step, the mud just gives way beneath her feet. She and falls in.
Do we have to go in?
The Shadowblades are like, look at you and undercomment are like, we gotta follow her. We gotta protect her. Sorry, dude. Or sorry, friend. And they both kind of turn backwards and scuba dive backwards in.
Joe, it would have cost you nothing to pass a performance check to convince you were drowning.
Tyre gives one big flap and leaps up into the air, and then kind of lazily glides over the river where Joe is. And Real, you're left on the deck on the shore alone.
Like I let out this deep sigh, and I just place my hand on my head, keeping my head in place, and I follow suit.
Okay.
Going into water.
You guys are carried for what feels like days. You guys are, and when you try and swim away, the current kind of coaxes you back into the center. You lose Tyre a couple of times. He disappears into the forest and then comes back into the nightward side very briefly.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple of instances where you see hopping kind of along the wide banks of this river, the Duskward bank. You see these little two-legged, they're medium creatures. These two-legged kind of giant frog-looking things, but they're all twisted and gross and messed up, and they have these long tongues and sharp teeth.
Ew.
They're awful. They are truly awful.
I'll say this. This is the best moment Joe has ever had while in this place right now. This is the best right now. It's never going to get any better than this. So gross.
Those are the guys walking along the side. They're awful.
Honestly, they look like, outside of the pus, they look kind of cute.
Except they're medium, so they're like 4 feet tall. Which immediately takes away from their cute back.
Saint Bernard's count as medium creatures.
Yeah, that's fair. So you guys make your way this way, and Laquaxis, after what feels like probably several days, you guys don't get hungry, nor can you safely sleep, but you guys are just exhausted by the end of it. However, Laquaxis protects you, and at the times when there would be something on the shore that could attack you, it is distracted by something in the woods, or Tyre just goes out of sight long enough for something not to see him. By some strange stroke of fey magic, Laquaxis has managed to protect you for this journey. And
delivers you to the Prince of Darkness.
As he eventually, and you guys don't see the Arbor Exemplar move until the river kind of runs you aground at kind of an oxbow bend, and you kind of all crawl out of the river. The Shadowblades and the Counselor just pissed off at this point, because you have been in sunlight this entire time too.
Mm-hmm.
And they get out and they're like, "Are we there?" And as soon as the water kind of returns to that glass-like surface, as you guys are all out of it and stop making waves, you look up and you are at the base of the Arbor Exemplar, just staring up at this massive, literally sky-high tree. Laquaxis gives you one last burst of Aquin as a kind of spray of water hits Joe and Despero's faces, and says, "I will do my part to keep the circle of the land safe. It may not be much, but I will do my part. And your guardian lives on in memory of mine and others, and yours. Keep her in your thoughts, and she will never truly be dead." And then the water, the glass-like surface, before you can even respond, the current begins flowing again downriver.
Joe will just give a oddly gentle nod before getting up, and like she's like on all fours like a gator, like shakes off and then stands up.
Uh-huh. We lost Jared.
Oh, dang it.
We lost him a long time ago. The accident wasn't your fault, Chase.
Typing, though.
Sorry, eating 5 dicks. Didn't want to pick up on my
Oh, internet has gone out. We'll try to fix. Okay.
same thing.
Great.
Cool.
Lovely. So, you guys you are at the base of the Arbor Exemplar, and swarming around you quickly are several animate insects that are all the scout ones that are all kind of flying around you in a cloud. And the drow, the shadow blades are like hesitantly hands on hilts again, and the counselor kind of unmasks herself and winces in the sunlight and looks up, and in common says, "We are here to beseech the help of the Summer Court once again. I summon Froderick." And she kind of bites her tongue at the name. "Who is indebted to me with a favor."
Oh, hold on. Something's up with Jared.
Wait, what the fuck? Yeah.
What the fuck? I'm gay. Shit.
And the inner sphere of the scouts. Yeah, he is weird. Kind of disperse, and out of the center of one of the roots nearby, the root splits open, and you see the familiar Froderick, the Lotus Knight, the little guy. What the fuck is his image? There he is.
There he is.
Hey,
That
buddy.
man.
Dat boy.
That boy. Oh shit.
Sorry.
You really don't. And he comes out and of the edge of this tree and bows in his little silky petals. How can I assist you? What favor may I repay you with? She bows her head and kind of solemnly, like, "We failed. We need the Summer Court's help yet again."
We need an audience, at least, with Titania.
She wishes to have an audience with you as well. I assure you the presence of your failure has not gone unnoticed. I will take you to my queen. It has been quite some time. What?
He didn't fucking hold back at all. Yeah, you fucking failure.
I will take you to her. I pray you keep your voices down upon entering her court. he opens up the root of the tree, and you guys step through with him. All my pages just reloaded. As you, let me check this actually. As you guys step out of the route exit that opens up for you, you walk through the dome of now loose hanging vines and dull flowers. Your feet crunching in dead leaves. As you enter the summer court, and ahead of you, you see a withered, ancient-looking, dried brown husk of a plant. Reduced now to nearly just above medium size. The kind of cocoon of Titania with just these faint green, very faint green splotches on the otherwise brown and crinkly exterior of her kind of cocoon. As you can see, things have not gone well. The loss of Nyx was a great blow to the constitution of our queen. They are sisters. They were sisters, bound eternally to this plane. And I fear that without one, the other will soon perish. In the room, you can see Jokaz, the Ranger General, and Hermescent, the Autumn Knight, and Samath, all in the room still. Samath appears to be asleep in his kind of seat. All the other seats and rows of this amphitheater are empty. Jokaz is kind of in the room, and you can see he's kind of calmly fletching arrows. Hermescent is just sitting in the corner, appears to also be in a peaceful state, like a trance, like an elf trance. And you also see in the room a kind of pile of flesh almost in the very center of the room. The first thing you spot, and it kind of alarms you for a second, is the corpse of a Fomorian, what appears to be one of the raptors. Split across its sternum with a large puncture wound, and bits of shiny metal on the wound and on its teeth and claws. And next to it, a humanoid form, clad in most of a bear or something large, mammalian, furred and toothed, who also lays unconscious on the ground. And kind of weakly sitting up next to them, you see, well, Devin, describe yourself.
You see an 8-foot-tall man. He sort of rests upon the corpse of the Fomorian with half plate clearly visible, but bound roughly, whatever straps of cloth and leather you could find over what might have once been a very nice suit. His skin itself is like leather, like a man that's been left out to tan for too long, and his beard might have one point been kept, is now just a bush attached to the lower part of his face, and his hair is ragged and going backwards. What's more concerning is when you look at him, his eyes are completely silvered over. He can't look at any of you. He's just staring off into the distance and occasionally jerking left to right as he sits there.
Sorry,
and then
that's loud.
And then the
Yeah.
747, that is my actual character.
Lands in full speed.
Is that still
Splatters this
deafening?
character. No, it's fine.
Okay,
It just
good.
kicked up in the middle of it.
Sorry, I'm fucking burning up here.
It's worth noting that this picture, while it gets close to sort of the tattered state and the armor that he's wearing, the armor itself has no crenellation, and his skin, while tan, has a hint of blue, just enough that you know that this man's not human. For those of you that are aware of furbolgs, you're aware that this is one, but under the feral layer on the outside, you can see this is a civilized version of one. And as the silver sort of crawls back from his eyes, he takes a heavy sigh and says, well, let's see how raw of a deal I have. He puts his hands on his knees and levers himself to his full height and turns and looks at all of you and says, so I suppose that means you are my lot.
Jokaz kind of looks at you and gestures to Froderick, and Froderick found him wandering the grasslands with those two.
In Sylvan, with a voice that doesn't seem to come from him, he says, Froderick found nothing. I brought him to you.
So who understands Sylvan?
Can I raise my hand? I do. I'm not here, but you know I do.
You're dead, bitch.
Yeah, well, both my characters do.
But when he says that, for those of you that are particularly
That's
I'm actually
it's
curious if any of you would have spotted it.
No.
Are any of you
No.
observant? No.
Oh,
None
no.
of them speak Sylvan?
I'm observant, but I don't speak Sylvan. So.
No, but just out of curiosity, I'm gonna ask if anyone wants to know. I want to see if anyone rolls a perception to see if they spot it. Because small detail.
All right, I guess.
Joey has the observant feat. So.
Yes, I do actually.
Or, sorry, Joe.
Sorry, Kitcher or Real has it.
Real, yeah.
Real has it. I thought you said Joe. I'm like, fucking.
Yeah,
Fucking what?
Fucking news to me, but.
When did
Yeah.
Oh,
Real,
if he has
real.
observant, then that means he can read lips, and that means he's actually paying attention to that.
I can read lips. I don't know what it says.
It doesn't matter if you know what it said. You notice that my tongue is entirely coated in silver when I speak Sylvan.
Ah, cool. Do I make a perception check for that, or just like?
No, you do notice that.
Just notice it?
Yeah, I didn't know that he had observant. Observant includes that. And then
Yep.
I switched to draconic when I look at the lizards. Don't worry, I'm just giving them a hard time.
you get a hint of a smile at that?
Tyre kind of perks his ears up as he kind of sticks his head through the branches.
Joe's just gonna like move her arm up and just kind of like pat him down, like it's okay.
He perks his ears up and kind of pushes your hand aside and kind of takes a step closer before sitting down on his haunches, head lowered almost in a defensive position towards this newcomer. Jared's not fucking here. God damn it.
No, that's important. The other thing there, that it's important for Jared to be here. God damn it.
It's important.
It's very important. One might argue that that's the whole point.
That is, in fact, the whole point.
I'll keep talking while Despero keeps exploring the goddamn ceiling, I guess.
Oh, that's a pretty flower. I haven't seen that one before.
He's completely oblivious that he's even entered another room. His mind's still on the river. He walks close, and you see him kneel in front of Tyre and sort of pat him down, just like almost like a horse, sort of down the side by his haunch, not the haunches, but like the shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
He at first make a persuasion check for me.
I was gonna say Joe at first is very defensive. Like you could see her hand is
Does
like.
he count as a beast?
I think he's a monster.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a monstrosity.
Gotcha.
Technically, he's a dragon, actually.
Gotcha.
I would
He's a
say
monstrosity.
Joe has her hand getting close to her axe, but not quite yet.
I spot that out of the corner of my eye and say, if I meant you ill, I wouldn't have gotten so close to that.
She'll move it back away, but she's still very she's watching.
Persuasion. Ah, yes, my strongest suits. Let's go. Yeah.
It's a whole new world. It's a whole new world.
Yeah. Tyre kind of bristles, and his forked tongue snakes out for a second before coming back, and he tests the air in front of you before kind of just giving a snort that you know is a "please don't touch me" snort.
I'll reply back and
he-
oh, go ahead. You go first.
No, go ahead. No,
You
you
will
responded directly to that.
You will forgive him. He's a little on edge. He recently lost a close friend.
I stand. I without standing up and without looking at her, I say, "Why do you think I'm here?" And I give him a little poke on the nose as I stand up and say, "You're acting real dignified." I stand up and walk back over by the bodies and just sort of cross my arms and wait for someone to
as you boop him on the nose, he kind of recoils for a second, but shakes his head and kind of he's curious. He's showing a sign of intelligence as well, like cocking his head and trying to figure out.
Hold on.
Where the fuck is he?
Oh fuck! I got an audio cue up and everything for it. I just need him to fucking be here.
Oh no.
I got an audio file all queued up for when he gets in here. First.
Oh boy. I don't.
The Acron blade you suggested, I cannot find it at all on any of the shit.
Yeah, I found it in 5e Tools. It's from the Critical Role book.
Okay. Alrighty.
Let me link you here's the website.
We'll just stick that on time.
I currently gave you I currently gave you the
+3
the
greatsword.
three.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's also the same rarity.
Yeah.
And that might also be a reasonable. Well, so with the Akron one, I had thought you were going kind of the Revenant route.
Which is kind of what I am doing. Yeah.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so then it's appropriate.
Yeah, the vengeful spirit of Wolfic.
Yeah.
If you send me the link, I can try and figure it out.
I put the link in Dragonspine just for the filter that I'm using,
Oh,
the
okay.
item list.
Okay.
I don't think Jared can see that because it shows him as offline on Discord. No.
Oh, fucking Christ.
Here. I'll put it through here. Jared, if you can.
On your stream or something?
No. Through.
Instagrams.
Yeah. Since he apparently was still connected to Fantasy Grounds for some reason.
He hasn't disconnected, but he's gone AFK. It marks him as AFK now, so.
If all else fails, Nikki, can you text him? Or somebody?
I tried to call him, and guess what? Surprise, surprise, he doesn't pick up his fucking phone.
God damn it, Jared.
Huh.
If I had his number, I'd call him too.
No sense blowing up his phone. There's nothing of this that are.
That's true. I'm gonna take a quick restroom break while he is not here, so
Yeah,
I'll be
I'm
right
gonna
back.
grab some food.
Yeah, in the meantime, I can just stick an Acheron greatsword, and then for my uncommon item.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Are you gonna stick here with me, Chase? Me and you?
I need to go get some food.
God damn it!
Be right back.
I have fucked myself with the complexity of this particular character. I'm already immediately regretting half of the decisions I've made.
I'm gonna ask Chase if I can have a plate +1 as my as my rare item.
Why would you grab a plate plus one when you wait? What is? No, fuck that. There's so much better. You can just grab a fucking normal, uncommon cloak of protection if you're gonna do that.
Well, because I wear plate armor, and that gives my armor class up to 19.
Plate armor should be but I mean, cloak of protection is also +1 AC, but also +1 on all saving throws,
That's true.
and it's uncommon.
That's true. Yes.
Or you can grab more deeps, or you can grab fucking stuff that buffs or gives you a spell or buffs. There's a bunch of stuff you can get.
Because right now I have the +3 greatsword because, you know, for my extra rare item.
Doesn't Very Rare have like fucking nutty shit though? Like actually wild shit?
Well, the choices I have right now, at least from the thing that I was given, I have a dancing greatsword, a frostbrand greatsword, a greatsword of sharpness,
Doesn't
or
have to be a greatsword, does it?
well, for my character, I want it to be a greatsword, but it doesn't have to.
Well, I mean, does it have to be a weapon? That's your very rare thing.
All right, I'm back.
It doesn't have to be a weapon, but I'd like to be able, because I took Great Weapon Master, I want my ability to hit things to be as high as they possibly can. So it would make sense to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure there's in the very rare category. I'm fairly confident that there are items that are like reroll a swing and like shit like that.
Well, I get to do that anyway.
But I mean, but it stacks.
Does it stack? I'm not sure it does. That's the problem.
If you have one thing that lets you reroll and another thing that lets you reroll, and they would both hit.
Because my build is basically I'm sticky and I wanna I can stick onto one thing and tank hits and deal damage back. So I took Sentinel and Great Weapon Master, and if I roll damage die that are like 1 and 2, I could re-roll those damage die, and I can mark one person, and then I could reduce their speed to 0. And if they succeed on it, then their movement is still halved. As well as every time I swing on them, I roll an advantage to swing at that one target. Whomstead of is messaging me? How dare they?
Hopefully it's Jared.
You can get Chase to execute your character and put the Peregrine mask as your very rare. Who's that? Who's that?
Yo, can y'all hear me?
Hey!
Sorry about
What happened?
that. Do you want the long version of the story or the short version?
Long version, because Chase is
Short
gone at the
story.
moment.
Oh, Chase fucked off? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I had an IPv6 problem.
Mm.
So Fantasy Grounds is a peer-to-peer program. So my Fantasy Ground client was able to use a different gate than the rest of my applications were using to communicate with Chase's Fantasy Ground client. So this shit didn't shut down. Fine, cool. Means I still get to play the game in at least in a technical sense. But the gate that I was using to communicate with every other application on this computer was a different gate, which is a problem because IPv6 protocol doesn't fucking like that when you try to do communications over several different applications that are functioning in different ways. So everything but Fantasy Grounds is communicating with a server.
Weird.
So I tried the normal stuff. I'll turn it off and on again. That didn't work. So what I actually had to do was go into my router settings
see where I was communicating from and go back to the correct gate. And that, as you can see, took a fucking while. But I've unfucked it. It's unfucked.
Cool. You missed Devin's new character.
That
How does it feel to be gay?
So actually, yeah. So So I mean, I guess now's the appropriate time to have this conversation since Chase is not at the computer right now. What exactly did I miss?
We entered Titania's courtroom. She's not looking too hot. Really bad, actually. Since
She's
Nyx.
now a medium humanoid size, entirely withered brown plant matter.
Everybody
There's no
but everybody's pretty much asleep, and we are told to keep our voices down. And Devin's new character, along with a couple corpses, are sitting in the middle of the room.
Oh,
you don't get the cool version, so I'm gonna give you the real bare bones version. He's an 8-foot tall furbolg that looks like he's been out in the wild for the past 6 months because everything's overgrown and his once nice suit is now in tatters. And he's wearing half plate that he's basically attached to his body however best he could with whatever he could find. And he has a hat. I forgot to mention that to the rest of you. He has a hat. The hat's fairly important. He never is without the hat.
Oh, hey, say.
wait, how big is the hat?
It is a mix between, like, imagine a Robin Hood cap and a 5-gallon hat at a kid. So sort of more aerodynamic version of a 5-gallon hat.
Okay.
All right, okay. And you say the room. You're sitting in the middle of the room, surrounded by a bunch of corpses. Is that not in the Arbor Exemplar?
No,
I
we're
am
in.
the Arbor Exemplar.
We're
I'm the
in.
dead
We're in
center.
Titania's court. There's 2 corpses next to him.
One of the important flavor bits. When you guys walked in, my eyes were completely silvered over, and I was twitching. And then as soon as you came in, I undid it, and I had a southern accent when I looked at you, and then they started saying something to explain something to you guys, and then I spoke in Sylvan. You didn't understand it, so you don't even get to hear what it actually was outside of fucking meta. And my voice changed to like an echoey, almost robotic voice, and my tongue was silver. And then I spoke Draconic to Joe, and it was a rougher version of my normal southern voice.
Interesting. So now we have, at minimum in this party, 2 people who have more than one voice to speak for.
I have 3 voices to speak for, cuz I got and clerics. You know how much shit I've had the entire fight that you guys were in there? I was just adding shit to the spell sheet because fuck a prepared. I didn't put any of the spells that were not prepared, and I still had to add like 10 fucking things because it didn't put my domain, which is like fucking 12 spells. It didn't put my fucking racial stuff. It didn't put like.
Speaking of, can I ask what your domain is, or do I have to wait? I understand if I have to wait.
Wait till we get in a fight. If you can't guess it in the first like 2 turns.
Yeah, prepared spellcasters are in an interesting position with Fantasy Grounds. I feel like when you're using, Roll20 and just Wizards of the Coast, completely fine. When you're using Roll20, playing a prepared spellcaster is a lot of fucking work.
Dude, it's not even the prepared spellcaster part of it. It didn't put my domain into my spell list. It didn't put my racial traits, even though it asked me what race I was, and it had that race there. It didn't move any of its shit into my action. Like,
That's not ideal, homie. Did you unfuck it?
Yeah, by manually entering everything.
Ouch.
You unfucked it in the hardest way possible. At least you got it done.
Yeah.
That-
Upside though, I got a lot of spells.
You're a cleric.
No. Like even for clerics, this is a lot of spells.
What do you mean? Even you're a level 11 cleric. You have a lot of fucking spells.
Yeah, but my race has spells, and my fucking domain added spells that were like even outside of domain spells it added spells. Like I had to build spells for every class feature. Like, bruh, my scroll bar is stacked. Like,
Oh man, I'm almost hesitant to do a spellcaster. If I do another class anyway.
I'm back.
Hey, welcome back. Jared's back.
I see that. Is everybody else back? Nikki?
I'm here.
Alrighty. So on the floor, next to a Fomorian corpse, what appears to be a raptor with some shiny metal on its teeth and claws and all over its wound that is in its chest. There is an unconscious humanoid laying face down on the ground, and excuse me, Jesus, I wolfed that piece of toast down and burpee. That appears to be wearing most of a bear, and as this kind of ragged Furbolg gestures to him, as Despero kind of realizes where he is, you're in the court of Titania, and all the leaves are brown and all the flowers dull, and Titania's kind of cocoon of plants is this withered, barely still living husk of plants that now houses the kind of medium size Titania. And Froderick has informed you that she is sleeping, as are two of the other people in this chamber. But you see on the ground there this humanoid and this Furbolg in front of you. Froderick explains, well, I didn't catch your name, sir.
Farhat for the flower.
Farhat, Mr. Farhat, stumbled upon our location, dragging these two. We have tended to his wounds and felt that you may have interest in either of them. And he goes over to the humanoid and have you checked on him again lately, Mr. Farhat?
I look at him and just do a quick little once over with my eyes and what I know about the human body. He's still breathing and he ain't started choking on his tongue. He'll make it.
Well, anyway, I think we should probably get him off the floor. And he leans down and casts a simple cure wounds that you recognize into him, and he kind of and jolts awake and coughs up something. And as he stands up, his hands immediately go to his left hip and his back, and he grasps and finds nothing. And he comes up, and his eyes are kind of wild. He's got this kind of faint stubble. And fierce eyebrows, and I'm going to send you a picture of him. He looks vaguely like this, obviously without the weapons on him currently.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And he
that
is
is
covered.
fair.
So he's wearing most of a bear and no armor underneath. No, actually, he's wearing half plate
So,
underneath.
real quick, sorry for the interruption. Real quick. Despero usually feels when he's near Velo Voying because the intercession of the spirits stop and he can talk normally. Does he feel that right now?
He does.
Okay.
And you look into the eyes of this guy kind of wildly looking around the room, and he drops into a crouched position, and you see over his face, the lower half of his face from his cheekbones down, intermixed with the stubble are the black lines of the tattoos. And on his hand and on his bare forearms and up to mid arm, and kind of bare midriff to a degree, he has intricate lines of tattoos all over him. And he looks around and just, where are my weapons?
Before that, I couldn't drag him because I was distracted, and I gestured to the Fomorian. But you're important, I hear from the grapevine, so I need to make sure you're all sound. And I pulled up my finger and say, follow this. And I want to roll a medicine check to see if he's actually...
Sure, go ahead. Excellent. Yeah. He looks, his eyes snap to your finger like he's very responsive, and his head remains still, and he kind of very slowly relaxes his hands very slowly in a practiced motion, go down towards his sides, and he kind of straightens his back, and as he follows your finger, you determine he is damaged and has just woken up from unconsciousness. But as you found him, he's significantly better off. He's now no longer on the verge of death. And you can see his armor is scarred and pocked, and he has visible wounds on his exposed skin. I need my weapons.
All right. Despero brandishes both his weapons in a drawing flourish, but then throws them both into the ground where they drive and stick, standing up on their edges. And he takes 2 metered paces forward so as not to move unduly quickly. He says, "If you are as I think you are the weapon." And he unclips.
stands up.
That's the wrong way to say it. He throws off some of the covering that's covering like his arms and shoulders to demonstrate his tattoos.
He stands up and kind of nods his head and pulls his hood back, and you can see a long braid, almost in like a single giant dreadlock fashion. Sorry, let me finish this bite of food.
Sure. Well, as he does that, Despero takes enough paces more to get within standing reach of him, throws his arm forward for that kind of like warrior's grip and says like
Beastmaster. Yeah, the Beastmaster wrist grasp.
Exactly.
Yeah, and he extends it. He stands a couple of inches taller than you, and built like a brick shithouse.
He looks like it.
He grabs your hand. He looks probably a couple years older than you as well. Okay. 5, 6 years older than you. Matthias of the Voin.
Despero of the Voin.
He releases the Beastmaster grip. He gestures kind of plainly. I am apparently unarmed, or I would present my arms as well.
I get used to it, and I gesture to an empty holster on my hip.
Mm-hmm. He looks kind of despondently and takes stock of the room and kind of flinches a bit when he sees Jokaz. And Jokaz now standing comes over with his great bow in hand and puts the butt of it on the ground. And this is the one I had seen. He wandered near my war camp before the attack. We drove him away, but not with too much force. We just did not know him. I appreciate your warning, but I seem to have found trouble all on my own. These things really come out of nowhere. And he looks over to the raptor corpse and kind of pushes it with his foot. Have you any great blades I could arm myself with? Have you any great blades I could arm myself with for the time being? And Jokaz, we do not work with metal. But your presence here is helpful nonetheless. We will see what we can get you. He looks to Despero. And as everything kind of the tension kind of lifts, he looks to Despero and very close, still holding your hand in the Beastmaster grasp.
Mm-hmm.
And goes, I am very lost.
We, unfortunately, are also lost, though not likely through the same means that you became lost in. We came here with an objective, and the 2 carriers of that primary objective are both dead, consequences beyond our heads. Now, we traverse this plane without a guardian.
I know not of this guardian. I came here alone. My companions were lost to me long before I arrived here.
The guardian in this place furnishes the purpose of direction. Without one, being lost is a guarantee, as I've been made to understand it.
I back that sentiment. I have been aimlessly wandering for who knows how long.
Despero's eyes snap fixedly to Farhat. And then back to Matthias.
Mm-hmm.
You have...
I look at it, I see him snap to me and look back, and there's a moment when I sort of start talking and you see something sort of coming over like a twitch on my face, like, oh, don't look at me like that, you failure of a contractor. Sorry. just it never mind. And he walks away.
Despero
Despero.
begins to take exception to that outburst because he didn't expect that shit. But then does eventually return his gaze to Matthias. You will know.
Who also is who at that also kind of lowered his eyebrows and looked over at Farhat, and
I slipped into undercommon to say the relevant parts.
Okay.
okay.
So
Wait,
they
the
understood
Drow
it
are-
culturally. No.
So-
Voim speak. Some of the words they use are undercommon.
A lot of the words they use are undercommon, so you got a gist of it.
Yeah, that's true. But Despero's eyes do eventually return to Matthias after like, is that motherfucker okay? And he says to him, because both of the charges I came here with are both dead. And Despero with his free hand gestures back to Riol and Joe, and of course all the rest of the Drow behind them, and says, "We are now at a loss of purposive work in this plane. You will know as well as I do the problem that represents."
I do. I fear my purpose has also been set by the wayside, being lost here. My purpose, I thought, was on the prime material, and this place is not that. I'm on a mission from our elders. I seek one known as Ardana. Do you know of this one?
Would Despero know of an Ardana?
You've met an Ardana.
Sorry, my memory is not serving up. The
Wait,
goods.
isn't
may
that
just be my
is
fault.
that the head of the
That person from the fortress.
black?
She's the head of the Blackbone Brigade.
Yeah, Joe will snap at that a little bit.
Yeah, you met Ardana and Martin Moloch.
That's right.
Um,
That's right.
Martin being a rival of yours, and Ardana you had not known prior to that.
I
For a
know.
matter of fact, I do know her, though you will not find her here.
He bares
Sorry,
his
Joe,
teeth.
it's not like you can say something. I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
No, you talk to him. Sorry.
She is my quarry. She is wanted for crimes against the ancestors.
Forgive
Sorry,
me
I'm
for
thinking because
intercepting.
that's very consequential.
Forgive me for interrupting, but how does one insult an ancestor?
I assume both Despero and Matthias's heads snap at the same time.
Yup.
Our elders gave not the specifics,
Our
but abusing the
ancestors-
gifts given them. But abusing the gifts given them as a warrior of the Voin is a crime punishable by death.
So they
Our-
sent you out on a hit, is what you're telling me.
Retrieval.
Is that why you needed the axe?
He doesn't answer.
Our ancestors do not die, they transpose.
And his eyes snap back to Matthias.
I've met Ardana.
His eyes lock to you. Where?
In the mountains.
And before he elucidates upon the mountains he's talking about, he will continue to talk about Ardana herself.
She shared with me seminally important knowledge. Knowledge of such importance that it is difficult, but not impossible, but difficult for me to believe out of hand that she would have committed the kind of crime you speak of.
I'm curious then. I've never been one for the deep knowledge of our ways, but I would hear it nonetheless.
She is, and because she is, I have a suggestion. I think the only
actionable solution is that you speak with her directly, arms down, until she gives you reason to pick up arms again, which she may. And you listen to what she has to say as I have and make your judgment. I will not interrupt you or deter you from your purpose if you deem that your query must still be pursued after you've heard the knowledge that she has to give.
The elders have commanded me hunt her,
Then hunt her.
but our mission was, if my companions are still alive, hopefully, that of retrieval. I will heed her words before retrieving her. If you think
Despero nods his head in was very clearly a gesture of gratitude. Not agreement, but gratitude.
I want to hit an insight check to see if he actually took that as advice or if he's just using it to
Sure.
get closer to target.
You look and you think he actually does a Voean warrior, a judicious Voean warrior, does not take information like that for granted.
Mm. I look at him and just cock my head to the side and say, when you go to meet her with weapons down, beware of the shadow beast.
In under, you said that not armor? No, Farhat has not.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Did I say something?
Despero's eyes, like he's far more composed than normal because the intercessions of the ancestors have stopped because in the presence of Voyin, but he still gets wide-eyed at that. Like,
Yeah. You also see Matthias is also, as soon as he grabbed your hand, basically he immediately dropped the kind of feral defensive posture. And Farhat, actually, with your insight check, he is trusting Despero implicitly.
Farhat, that is your name, yes.
Yes. For you, yes.
How long have you been here in this plane?
Couldn't tell you. Spent a lot of it soaking in the sun.
Let me ask the same question differently and more purposefully. How near are your memories of being out of this plane, if you have them?
At the risk, at the risk of sounding enigmatic, you'll have to be more specific.
Do you remember the scope of your life before you found yourself here?
Me? No, very little. But I still get glimpses through someone else's eyes every now and again.
So do I. And Despero turns his back and looks at Joe and Riola. And actually, also, fuck, I forgot her name. The drow.
The counselor?
Yes.
Counselor Levros.
There's a mage here who could take us back to the prime material, yes?
I could. I'm sure he's around here somewhere. I've not yet seen him on this return trip. We still have an audience with the Queen to complete.
Despero's walking and talking, so as she says this, he reclaims both of his weapons from the earth where he drove them in and puts them back into their, well, sheath and stabilizing bracket.
Mhm.
For his beard. And says, but I think that is our primary objective. We must find this mage.
Kovric would, I'm sure, be glad to be rid of this place should he be permitted to leave. So it will depend on the whims of our host. Previously, we have been not permitted to leave. This plane being fickle as it is.
Well,
I
Farat
think-
walks back over to the group, dusting off his hat, and just as a quick aside, just leans over and says, "Just so we're clear, Despero, my visions are very different from the ancestors of the Costa Kanaya." And I just continue walking on by as I put my hat on.
Despero was about to pipe up. Farat's walking away, so he doesn't get his chance to speak his say. Instead, Despero grunts. You can have
And
back
Matthias kinda-
catalogs. They're like, "Oh, I will talk to this nigga later." Like,
Yeah, and Matthias also kind of kicks the body of the Fomorian one more time before kind of walking over to the edge of the court and sitting down and kind of going over his armor. And somewhat uniquely among the Voine, you know there to be multiple classes. It almost looks like he's that class that I just sent you the list of, Jared.
dude, I was working, and then when I wasn't working, I went out fucking Mother's Day shopping, so I didn't read it.
Yeah.
Now I wish I did read it.
It's okay. It's actually pretty simple. It's only one page, but it is a barbarian subclass of Voine warrior.
Oh, dude, hell yeah! Does he get to rage?
Yeah, he's a barbarian.
Oh,
It's
dude.
it's
Oh,
it's
dude.
just a subclass of barbarian. There's only 5 features.
Oh, dude, that's sick.
Read later. It's pretty cool.
All right.
Christina, I'll send it to you too. Actually, because it's cool.
Cool.
I'm just gonna post. Jesus Christ! I'm just gonna post it in chat. Where's my fucking?
Is investigation intelligence or insight? I think it's intelligence. Despero's gonna cast enhance ability on himself.
Okay.
By the way, while they're having all this conversation, Joe's just gonna sit down on the ground, kind of pat Tyre to sit or lay down next to her, and she's just gonna wait for whenever Titania in the court wakes up.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a bit. And you guys do have 1 point of exhaustion.
Mm-hmm.
I should note.
Oh, is that because
from
your travel with the water?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the trip down the river.
Yep.
He moved you quickly, although it felt like a long time, and your body was not quite ready. Just weird side effects.
But he did move
Also,
us past a bunch of
it-
enemies too, so.
He moved you safely. So Froderick, in the kind of conversation around, just yes, it has been multiple of your cycles since you left us. I assume we felt the repercussions of your first objective, but have you completed any others?
Oh, we collected the notebook.
The research you were searching for.
Yes.
That is good news that it was not a total loss.
And I brought the Voine. Sorry.
We also have other bad news. I fear that we have lost the Winter Court.
That has also been noted. Let me rouse the mistress. I'm sure she would want to hear your account of it. And he kind of disappears into the floor, just sinking through the plant roots and stuff. And Samath and Hermesin both kind of not startle, but like wake up visibly.
Joe will
and very
stand up.
slowly.
Sorry, as soon as
And
they
very
start.
slowly, the leaves of Titania's cocoon start to open. Now go ahead.
I was gonna say, as everybody wakes, Joe will stand up so she's not like disrespectfully sitting on the court floor.
Uh-huh.
You know.
Yeah, Matthias also kind of sees everybody kind of coming to attention, and he also kind of stands, not at attention, but he definitely stands with discipline, like a soldier's discipline.
Farat gives Tyre a stern look.
Tyre remains crouched. He's gotten comfy on the floor here, and he's tired.
He removes his hat.
Okay.
Gentlemen.
So the queen emerges from her pod, but only just. The leaves barely split open, dried and cracked as they are. and the upper torso of this absolutely withered shred of the former Archfey, Titania, emerges from it. Guardianless, return to us.
Joe will hang her head low and bow lowly. We tried all that we could, and the Guardian gave her life to try to save Mistress Nyx. Unfortunately, we could do nothing. We also lost the Drake.
Troublesome as he was, I'm sure his work was not finished. Melifia as well, my wayward daughter. I feared her time in the Prime Material stripped her of those things most dear to the Fae. But she returned to us in our hour of need, and she gave her life in an uncommon act of devotion for our people. We are transient yet strangely permanent, and for my part I pay tribute to her bravery. She was truly an exemplar amongst the guardians of the Feywild. And she shudders. I can feel my hold weakening already. There is a hole in my heart where my sister's shadow has gone, and I fear it cannot be healed. Similarly, I feel a strange nothingness from our seaward neighbors. I fear something dreadful has occurred at the Winter Court. I cannot feel Didal's pale indifference as usual, and the waves crashing on my shores are lifeless and dull.
And
The loss of Nyx is a devastating blow to all Arkfey. The very pillars upon which this place was created cracked.
You've now made mention of your permanence. I have an ontological question about that.
I entertain your question, young human.
And after he says that, because Despero has been standing with a straight back, arms behind his head, eyes directly at her, now he bows his head and takes a knee. And he says, "Can, by the nature of your permanence, a blight of this magnitude, which overtakes the entire plane, be reversed after a fashion of great time has passed? If it is corrected, even after 1,000 years, can it be restored?"
If you will allow me. And as she says that, the whole as she says the words "allow me," the whole dome shudders and kind of rings with it. And Samath kind of looks around for a second, like you see his eyes darting side to side. A moment of blunt honesty. This power is great enough that it can snuff the life from one of the greatest of our beings. And I truly fear for my life. If I am destined to die here, the circle of the land will be utterly destroyed. One of the pillars upon which this world was built. If the land is destroyed and the sea makes no effort to respond, I know not what will happen to the interceding areas, and space and time and beings, those of one or either or neither, may simply cease to exist. I have no recourse. I have no information. For the first time, I am afraid. And at that, you see Hermescent and Samath are both like staring, like Go ahead.
The consequences of this encroaching blight and Despero has not lifted his head, he's still bowed,
Mhm.
can be definitionally permanent.
To my knowledge, yes. If this is unprecedented. Nothing has brought order to the chaos that we represent since its inception. And there is a kind of twisted order to this chaos.
Archfey, you have given us the gesture of hospitality, so I would like to return to that, the gesture to you of honesty. Our intention, after our failure in combat, was to leave this plane back to the prime material. Now, after what you've told me, I think our intention has arrived at a barrier of complication. Despero carefully repositions himself in such a way that he is still supplicating to her, but he is kind of throwing his gaze backward over his shoulder to talk to the rest of his companions and says, all of you, can you live with and sleep at night with the consequences of this if we leave and do nothing?
The counselor speaks up. I have expressed before, the Flaccati owe a debt of gratitude to the Summer Court. You have protected us through our darkest times, knowing or otherwise. And I feel that returning the favor may be all we can do. If we cannot combat this threat, it has shown its superiority to us multiple times. I wish to do my part to help you persevere. My queen. And she gives a short bow, and the two shadow blades give a deep bow.
Guess that means we got you outnumbered 3-2. As he logs out of existence.
We lost Groovy. We lost
Lost
Groovy.
Groovy.
My music.
he
music.
says that, shakes his head, and then there's a window shutdown sound as he phases out of existence.
Joe, I was gonna say, Joe gives a hard look to Despero. Sorry, what was the question again? Sorry, I was too busy listening to the drow.
So, yeah, this isn't verbatim, but the shorthand of the question was, look, if we leave here and let this happen to the Feywild, are you going to be able to sleep at night? And my tone was a little bit accusatory there. It was just an honest question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe will pause and yes, because I made a promise to the Drake to take his charge, protect him, and live. If leaving means that I live, and so does he, then I will leave and go as far as I can. Life is survival. If I must leave this place to die to survive, then I will.
If I might intercede. The Drake, as you called him, asked for greatness. Is this the path to his greatness?
The
eldest's
He cannot
greatness
reach
was
greatness if
self-evident.
he dies.
The eldest's greatness was self-evident, but he did have an objective that he did not fulfill. It is now our responsibility.
Then allow me to poison another way. If this levee breaks, what's left to hold back that river?
Despero doesn't respond. That's a damn good question.
Matthias speaks up. I've seen beasts across the land. And when there is nothing left to eat in the land, they either move on or they perish. I think while these beasts have moved on quickly through your lands, maybe their option will be to perish.
I must admit, I was lost in the metaphor. Are we the beasts in this particular turn of phrase?
Those monsters. He looks at the Fomorian corpse.
Ah, yes, they did look a tad peckish.
My goal is to make it back to my quarry and my companions if I can find them. I left them as I was the first to delve into the place of power we had tracked our quarry to. Drained of all its life. I fear that this place will suffer the same fate. Drained of its magic. If that rings true for you, Lizard, survival is the goal. You've shown we cannot face this foe. Not head on. But if we survive, if we endure, we're persistent. If there's anything us Voin are good at, we are persistent hunters. If we're persistent, we can live and catch up to it again, and fight it again. And again.
Despero,
And again.
Despero grunts affirmatively and then says, "On this, we agree. I feel failure. That we have wrought failure. It's not an end of anything, whatever. It is an opportunity for recompense, restoration."
An opportunity that has yet to present itself, young Voin.
Which is why I originally asked you that ontological question. If we leave now and return later, the revenge at the tips of our sword and the desire to restore this place, will it even be possible?
I have no recourse other than to pray for my survival.
Then,
Should
in
I
spite of your-
fall, the circle of the land will fall with it. And with Nyx gone, I'm sure the Solar Prince is waning as well. I fear if you leave now, well, we are at an impasse, a crossroads. The very survival of the Fae is in question. The Feywild. And if we should fail to defend ourselves, it will be too late to save any that are left. The crossroads is thus. I will concentrate my power and grant you a seed
the seed of the world tree, of which there can only be one. If you return to your home and plant that seed in an appropriate place of power, perhaps we can survive after a fashion. The other road that crosses this is thus. I concentrate the last of my might into one defense. That if it fails, there will be nothing left. And to our permanents, the Archfey are unfamiliar. It is not a concept we have ever had to deal with. Since our creation, Nyx and I have been, and have always known that we would always be. And so I speak to you from the unique perspective of one who has just discovered their own mortality. I have had infinite time, so it seems, and now I have none. The threat builds on the horizons, both sunward and duskward. And if it is not appreciated for the threat it brings, then I fear all will be lost. So I leave my fate in the hands of you sunless elves, who came to live under my boughs, for so long that it may yet be the only hope of the Fae. If we are destroyed here, this seed may remain in your plane as an anchor of my essence and the chaotic nature of the Feywild. Creators willing, this will not be the end of us. And the counselor kind of bows and stops halfway down, kind of looking up, realizing this is pretty grave.
Yeah.
What say you mortals? Sorry, I keep interrupting you. What say you mortals? Those of you who visit our realm from afar and have shown such bravery inside it. The Flakari as well as you newcomers, I suppose. Go ahead.
Our guardian, my contractor, whom I have failed, in her life, sowed seeds generously, and she had, for her part in the matter, a grove, a secluded place that responded to the growth of those seeds. If we take the seed you now speak of for this world tree, if it can conceivably restore this place after Armageddon befalls it. And now, Estrid stands up, straight back, he's no longer bowing, and he looks directly at Matthias. Please witness my commitment that I can be permanent.
He puts his hand over his chest, like right arm over left pec, in a salute you're familiar with.
Thank you. If this seed can be sufficient to restore this place, then I will, in spite of now 2 failed promises, will do everything in my power to sow it again, that this place can spring new life. If you will have a failed contractor, and now Despero dips his head again.
Your promise rings truthful, human. And with your witness, you would not lie. Is this in agreement? Samath kind of approaches. He kind of flutters up. The prime material plane is a ravaged land compared to ours. With your permission, I may step through with this seed to guide its flourishing. I will be at but a fraction of my strength, but my knowledge will remain intact. Should we choose this path, it will mean the end of the Arbor Exemplar and the beginning of something new. Her message speaks up. This will not be an easy task, my queen. It will likely ruin the forces we have here, leaving you vulnerable in a final moment. For my part, I wish to defend you until my dying breath. The queen responds, that is appropriate, Hermescent. Your purpose has been served in life, honorably and without question. Indeed, it will take some time for me to conjure this seed, to concentrate all the power of the natural lines of magic that run through me, faint as they may seem now. And like the lifeblood that flows through your veins, I must give of myself to create this. Human, as you mentioned, the grove is still here of my wayward daughter. Its link will be destroyed by this. But I fear that is inconsequential if this place is no longer. I cannot leave this place. I am this place. But if I give you a seed of it, maybe we will rise again. Jokas, if you... I task you with defending the new grove. We will begin as any druid begins. Hermescent, you will defend the Arbor Exemplar with the remainder of my animates until my process is complete. And newcomers, mortals, sunless elves, those of you who do not belong, and she looks at Matthias and Farhad. I will send you back from whence you came, but one time.
Before you do, what happens if this place goes? What of the divine gate that holds back these other things?
The Divine Gate has never been of our concern. We are uninterested in crossing the boundary.
I was less concerned about you and what else might be on this side.
That I do not know. You, such small beings, managed to worm your way through, intentionally or otherwise. That is never something that has concerned me. This place, should it fall through, that is never something that has even entertained before.
Well, before you set your mind, and I take out a deck of cards and shuffle it and cast Augury as,
Okay.
as I'm here. For
Okay.
deciding for staying here to fight, and specifically staying here to fight to live, but also if the thing I'm looking for is here and able to be handled.
Okay. So I think two casts of that, yeah?
Yeah,
To
two
utilize
different
one
things.
question.
Yeah, two
Okay.
different things.
So, staying here to fight for survival. Whoa. the thing you are here to find also woe.
I pull out 5 cards, look at it, and say, "Lady, this ain't the first time we met. Not for the important meanings of meeting. But that is the deadest man hand I've ever seen. The one that brought me here, he doesn't want me to stay. As much as I'd love to see and record your final moments, I cannot."
So long as I have time to create the world seed, you will not have to stay.
Is there anything I can do to assist before you send us on our way? Energy, some healing, perhaps?
Like I said, this ritual will take some time and all of my remaining energy, I fear. But I will imbue the power of the Feywild, such as it stands, the remainder of which it stands, into that seed. It will draw attention. Those of you who do not belong here may perhaps serve me one last time in the defense of the world tree against the tide.
Mistress Titania, do you still have that
Yes.
weapon available? The name that must
I
not be
do.
uttered?
I do. And I can only pray that they will heed my call in my weakened state.
Joel nodded and said, "Well, let's get started."
Hermescent can instruct you how to best handle yourselves in defense of the Arbor Exemplar.
At Joe's word, Despero draws both of his weapons and says, "By my blades and by my name, this seed will quicken again." And he starts walking outside. But as he's walking outside, he turns his gaze over his shoulder again and says, "Farhat."
I am listening.
You do not strike me as a man who is unfamiliar with combat.
No, I am quite unfamiliar with combat, but I am familiar with death, and I am familiar with those that have fought.
Let us shoulder to shoulder attain a familiarity. And Despero keeps walking.
I pull aside the counselor, and I'm putting this in Sylvan, but it's in Undercommon, and my back's to the group so that a certain someone that could lip read can't read it.
I don't think you noticed. Your passive perception's pretty good. Make an insight check for me, Devin.
All right, that's fair. I'll take it. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you noticed.
Jesus.
That was a pretty steep DC that I set it at, just to notice somebody watching your lips from across the room.
But not only that, I can tell how he rates us on a scale of 1 to 10. Everyone in the room. I turn with my back to them, and I pull aside the counselor. And no one can speak Sylvan, right? I'm not going to say this. People are going to be able to read it, right?
That's right.
I mean, the entire Fey Court speaks Sylvan.
That's fine. That's irrelevant.
Okay.
And then he turns and walks out. He does cast a bit of a minor version of Disguise Self so they can see, just so the point gets hammered home.
Sure.
And then heads out.
Okay. She kind of looks up at you. Looks kind of sideways over to Real. Just a flick of the eyes, and you see her kind of chewing on her lip before she lets you walk away.
Put on my hat and give it a tip before I walk out.
All right, and that's where we're gonna call it this week. Sorry we didn't get you in, Nikki, but we didn't get quite as far as I
That's all
thought
right.
originally.
That's okay.
Yo, augury is pretty phenomenal. I think
Augury
I'm
is
gonna
pretty
run that with
fucking cool.
everyone.
Augury
I
is
also,
pretty fucking cool.
if I do two things, or if I need to make another decision on the same thing, I got Gambler as well.
Yep.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm doubling down on the fuck all that bullshit. Fuck people just not telling me shit. I'll find out on my own damn self if that's a good decision.
But the thing about the whole wheel in woe thing is like it gives an opportunity for the DM to fuck with you.
Well,
Yeah.
yes, but woe is pretty strongly like
Yeah.
it's not gonna be. It's not
Yeah.
good.
It ain't gonna be
Chief.
good.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
Gambler is like a sixth sense. The Gambler is like a ripcord. If I'm about to walk into an ass whooping, I just get a chingle down my spine of Gambler saying, "Listen, Chief, maybe you should take a day." You know?
Maybe
No
think
point
about
in
it. Maybe think about it.
Fuck, I'm a little sad we didn't get to see Nikki's character.
It's alright.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
So next week we'll start with some planning.
Yep.
You guys get at least one more big battle,
Oh, god damn it.
and I do it to myself every time.
I would say for the future, Chase, that maybe potentially less people in the battle and no allies, because if you need allies to balance out the fight, maybe. Now this is just a hypothetical, but maybe there's too many enemies on the field.
I don't give a fuck about balance.
I'm not concerned about balance.
Let
neither.
that
I'm
be
concerned about
clear.
You slowly wanting to kill yourself on turn 3 of a 500
Oh.
unit battle.
It's
Oh,
fucking
you have
shit.
no idea. I do it to myself every time. Just give me this.
No, Devin, do you remember when we were doing this on paper and pencil and Chase would broadcast his fucking thing onto like that fucking projector?
Yep, in the
That
arc.
wasn't that was not nearly as many units.
That was not 400 combatants, no.
Right,
But
but,
it was-
same energy, and that's my problem.
Yeah.
Well, no, it was 8 units, and you get to pick if you're going to double down, but there's very much a double down point.
One of the big fights that I did with you guys, there were 3 squadrons of flyers, and each of the flyers had 2 passengers. And that was in addition to the massive amounts of ground forces and 9 fucking players.
Yeah,
so,
and that's my thing.
yeah.
I'm not
Every time I do it to
concerned
myself,
about-
and I'm not going to stop.
Alright.
I'm not concerned about the numbered integer of enemies. I'm concerned about the fact that our DM is Chase.
Oh no, I'm not concerned about that because he can do pretty good on the fly adjustments if shit goes like if it's completely unregistered, like it's just straight up. Oh fuck, that's like I didn't even fucking. But like, you could read intent pretty good. I'm taking augury purely as a what if nullifier. Fuck what if.
Yeah.
I get a very good thumb up, thumb down on a. If we go and look, it's like yeah, it's just one guy. Let me pull out the deck of cards real quick, Chief. Nah. Nah.